Right now.
Dude, we're early. Literally
Welcome
like
to
30.
SmallmouthCrush Live. No intro, straight to the point. This episode sponsored by Power Pull. Power Pull Charge, Power Pull Blades, Power Pull everything. This episode.
Power pull everything.
We like to I could give a shout out to Bass Boat Technologies too.
Talk to me, man.
Man, good products, man. Boat Technologies.
Yeah. Is he recovered from the has he recovered from my rant?
Why is there an echo?
I don't know.
No, that was Bass Fishing Electronics.
Oh, who's this one?
They make mounts.
Eerily similar name. What's it called?
Bass Boat Technologies.
And what's his?
Bass Boat Technologies makes mounts for all brands.
No, what's the other guy?
Bass Fishing Electronics.
BBT.
He rigs them.
It's BBT. Bass Boat Technologies. Right?
Because I recently picked up my Lund. And I only went with single units on the Lund, and I got the balls out mounts.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm not that impressed with them, man.
Really?
Yeah.
How's that FG knot coming?
I don't think it's an FG knot.
I know it's not an FG knot. Remember you said you were going to tie that FG knot, and I call it the FT knot? As in, fuck that. That knot didn't work.
We're going to tie that again.
That's odd. I wonder if this explains some of your fish losses.
We have a special guest joining us later this evening.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
My client today lost a big one, and he's blaming it on my line.
Really?
So he broke a drop shot rig. So I grabbed another one on my rod locker, one that's ready to go for tournament day. He dropped on a fish, big one, big old alewife eating smallmouth. You know what I mean?
Ooh, those are the big ones.
And fucking leader broke like 2 feet from the knot.
Damn. So when you have breakoffs, is it mostly above the knot, below the knot, at the knot? Look at that tongue action. It's extraordinary.
It's at the knot, bud.
Can somebody record that?
It's always at the knot.
I want to do a reel. Hold on, man. Can you make yourself full screen? And I'm going to just do a video.
No, I'm not making myself full screen, Eric.
All right. Well, I'll just have to go ahead. Do it again.
I'll do it when I'm ready.
You do it when I'm ready. All right, let's do a roll call, man. Christina's in the house. Brian Wisniewski, Cappy Keeve, Michael Bradley, MC the Hammer, Jig Squad, 5 Juice Newton, River Rat Hats. I don't know. I have to check in with Susquehanna Fish and Tackle. The next one coming up is a Tug Life. Jamie, I'll send you one of my
maybe next time you talk to Susquehanna Fishing Tackle. Maybe next time you talk to Susquehanna Fishing Tackle, you can talk to George and ask George if he'd be willing to meet with Brooks from Cortland, because everybody in the Northeast knows how great their braid is, and they would like to purchase some Cortland braid at Susquehanna Fishing Tackle. Make some room with a couple pig boards up and get the damn line in your shop.
Did you say pig boards or peg?
Whatever it's called.
Okay, so now I'm selling it. Haven't you spoken there or something? Like, aren't you a featured speaker during their spring fling? Well, how'd that sales call go for old Brooksy Pal?
You know what? Someone either's not doing their job over at Cortland, or there's something ain't right. Something is not right.
There's history. I know the story. So. Oh, I know the story, which I cannot reveal. But I'll tell you this, it's a tall mountain to climb. It's a tall mountain to climb. How many feet of lead are you putting on there, pal?
I don't know, man. Just like, I guess
6?
it's about 8.
8 foot. Got
Yeah.
it. No, Dave
Kyle,
Scheid.
Brooks is in the comments. Welcome, Brooks. Go Fish Dan.
Brooks, he's in the comments. Where'd you see him?
New England Fishing Expo. Dave.
Top toe,
Also,
Dave
tonight's
Salomar.
live is sponsored by Modelo Especial.
Excellent. You're a special, Travis. You're an especial person.
Keith Poche stayed at my house last week, and he left a few of these in the fridge.
Very
I've
good.
been hooked on these ever since.
How'd Poche do?
He didn't do that well.
Oh.
When he doesn't really know how to drag a Ned rig, or when he brings 2 medium heavy spinning rods to an event up here, and that's all he has, and he has a boat that's 14 feet long by 5 feet wide.
Yeah. You're not going to the lake.
You're not going to do too good.
I got you. You need that big ocean going vessel. You need to head out from Clayton. How far is Clayton to Cape Vincent on a calm day?
15 minutes.
Got it. So on a calm day, the old gator tracks could maybe make it to the mouth. Were there any fish shallow that he could have caught?
Not under those conditions.
Got it. 10-4.
Yeah.
Anyway, he must have been fun to hang around with. He's a funny guy. I like him.
10 licks down and 8 licks up. That's about right.
Hey, look at that, Grat. He counted them. Yeah.
So, my buddy Travis, I guided with him today.
Travis
from Ohio.
Travis Wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, never went as far with a guide trip before as I did today.
How many gallons of gas do you feel like you burned today?
I'll know tomorrow morning. Probably
40?
50 times 4 would be $200. I lost money today.
50 times 4 is 200. So you burnt 250 gallons at $4 a gallon. You showed out for the guy, man.
Yeah, maybe we I don't know. Maybe it's 40 gallons today. Who knows?
Okay, so $160 in gas, 40 gallons. That's the most you've ever had to burn.
I don't think about that.
Yeah, where'd you launch?
Cape.
Got it. So you had to go out.
There he is in the comments.
Evening, Travis. Talk about your experience.
Ask him. Now, Travis is a very experienced smallmouth fisherman.
Right.
Ask him if I had to tell him when to set the hook today.
Travis Wise, did Travis have to tell you when to set the hook? If you're experienced smallmouth, I don't think Travis has ever told me when to set the hook. Except for when we were sight fishing, he told me to set the hook at the wrong time, and I said, don't ever do that again. We caught that on video. So, Travis, did he tell you?
Oh.
Evening, Dave. Even Jim. Go Fish Dan. Wilbur Miller asked the key question. How far is the mouth of Cape Vincent to Kyle Welcher's spot?
We were within a half a mile of Kyle Welcher's spot at one point today.
Did he leave?
Sure.
Did he leave?
Travis goes every time.
Every time. Doesn't mean, was he right? Or did he just talk too much?
He knew there was one key bite he didn't know.
I got you. South Jersey. What's up? Matthew. Yo. Okay. So what was the big today? Did you weigh him with that light scale of yours?
I don't think we weighed much today.
No.
Looking back on the pictures, we had a pretty good bag.
Yeah, you think you got one over 6?
No.
Yeah.
He let me fish a little bit today. I had a pretty good one.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's always fun. So what was everybody's impressions of the recent elite? Is Were people happy that Chris Johnson didn't win? Were people sad that he didn't win as the favorite going in? Were people happy for Patrick Walters? Did you enjoy watching it? Did anybody learn anything? Sound off in the comments. I'm curious to hear.
Yeah, me too.
All right, cool. Our special mystery guest is on the way home.
Okay.
I'm really curious. What'd you guys think, man? Smallmouth Junkie, we're doing good, man. Just trying to get some feedback. Who watched the show? Sandbagger won. Happy for Patrick. All right, Go Fish Dan. LP Bass said he was a sandbagger. I wish Scott would have gotten higher to qualify for the Classic. Scott Martin did not qualify for the Classic. That's what I'm getting from Kuda's comment. Chris and Pat, good peeps. Didn't bother me which one won. Kyle, okay, cool. So. Jamie Newton. I wanted Corey Chris to win. Tanner. Patrick's a good dude. Live scope turnings are boring to watch. I agree. Smallmouth tournaments have changed forever. Wilbur, for sure. Bo Judd had Corey on his fantasy fishing team. Yeah, man. I wish Kyle Welcher would have not have broke down. What would have happened, man? Mac Emmerich says, I learned that I can't afford that kind of fishing. Amen to that. Consistent guys. Patrick Walter is for sure, man. Pretty cool to watch lots of big banks. Scott and Martin did not qualify. Thanks, Go Fish Dan. Martin needed a 5th. Okay. Japanese pros did well. How about that? I heard somebody was using 3-pound tests. True or not? Yeah, me too. I love when rookies win, man. I'm an underdog guy. Yeah. Brian says he thought Patrick outfished the boys and showed how efficient he fishes. Brian Smith caught his bag in the river. Matthew Weimer, live scope tournaments suck. It's like spotlighting deer. Great to see Patrick win. Matt Robertson found a badootie.
What's that?
Yeah, you're right, Jamie. Lots of tough breaks for people that didn't qualify, man. What's up, Kirk?
What's a badootie?
Jody White.
What's a badootie?
Brett Cartwright for Gino's win on Champlain. Pete Jablowski. I would like to thank Jody White and Brett Carnwright for Gino's win on Champlain. Did Gino win on Champlain?
I guess so.
Jeff Wild said, my buddy won a new 18-foot Phoenix on a co-angler. Must have been FLW. Very cool. Yeah, Japan is sending all the best, baseball and fishing. Rookie class has been awesome. How much of that is live scope, in your opinion, guys? Ass washer. I don't know what that means. We're going to get flagged for that. Watch out for the comments coming in.
What's wrong with these people tonight?
Not a fan of live until after the TV broadcast is done. Gino won this weekend. Whoa! Estack says, surprised that some were catching them 15 feet while others were catching them in 45. Just shows to go you that fishery is full of dumb smallmouth.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Some areas of the past tournaments did not show out. Fishing.
I'm going to make a comment right now, Eric. Can you hear me?
I mean, 300-pound bags.
Eric.
Travis, we cannot hear you. You're messing with us.
Eric.
Literally, now you're just goofing on me because I can't hear nothing you're saying.
Can you guys hear me in the comments?
Nope, I'm not getting it. Can everybody hear Travis? The further west you go, the dumber the fish are. Meaning, like,
Eric, can you hear me?
400-pound bags. That's right. Let's see what's going on with this audio. Hello, test. Let me test my Bose Quiet Comforts. Travis, what's your audio? I can hear Travis. Yes, I hear you. No, yes. Travis who? Travis, anyone hear me? Lee Chamberlain. Dude, I can't hear you, Travis.
For real?
Turning my volume up. I got you now. You're
back.
Okay.
Eric,
we're good.
I want to make a couple statements.
All right, let's hear what your impressions are. I read the comments while you were rigging. What do you think?
Well, I talked to Fletcher and Hunter Shyrock today.
All right.
And they kind of said the same thing.
Which was?
They think the pressure's getting to the fish. And I'm going to make a statement right now.
Let's hear it.
I fish this body of water almost every day.
Yeah.
I see the boats at the ramps.
Sure.
If you want to see pressure, go launch your boat in Buffalo, Sandusky, Sturgeon Bay, Mille Lacs, Northeast River,
Mille Lacs, relax. Go ahead, relax.
Potomac.
Bro,
There is no pressure on Lake Ontario in the St. Lawrence River because you see a couple boats. There is so much water and so many fish that this pressure thing does not make sense to me. I can't relate to it, and I don't understand it.
Right.
So be whatever it be.
I hear you, man. I hear you loud and clear. Would you say?
You know how many times I pull up to an area that I want to fish and I can't because there's a boat on it? 0. And I'm out there every day.
Amazing. Would you say? Would someone venture to say that Lake Ontario in the St. Lawrence River is the top smallmouth fishery on the planet Earth?
I don't know. I haven't fished Lake Superior lately. I haven't been to Lake Huron. I know.
Yeah, but are you hearing anything about those lakes, or are people keeping it under the radar?
There's no major tournaments. There's no major tournaments out of
I'm just talking about like in the smallmouth realm.
The Lake Michigan side of Wisconsin, and tell me what lives out there.
You tell me what lives out there.
I am not going to tell you that the St. Lawrence is the greatest smallmouth fishery in the country, because it probably isn't.
I only asked the question. Now you said what you had to say. So question for you. You fished the Wisconsin side of Michigan, right or no? Like from your days on, where did you fish when you go to Wisconsin? When you were out there and you had your camera and you were showing me the bottom and running around and you had these big bags, and you fished Wisconsin quite a bit for smallies. Does it compare?
It's better than Wisconsin in certain parts.
So I'm just saying on the whole.
It's a good fishery, if that's what you're asking. I have no idea what you're even talking about.
I'm comparing it to Lake Michigan. Overall, Lake Ontario versus Lake Michigan, overall.
Lake Michigan is better away from the community holes.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
And because it's bigger fish or more fish?
Both.
Got it.
I don't know, man. What the fuck?
Well, no, you know, because you fished both, you guided on both, and so
bro, I didn't know shit today. We caught shit for most of the day.
What's shit? Define that.
A handful here and there.
Over 20 fish or under 15?
We probably caught 20.
Okay, I mean, is that a shitty day? Relative speaking, no. But for Lake Ontario, probably so. So would you say, based on the open being there, then the elites being there, that where you initially started fishing, maybe it saw some pressure? And could that have been it? Meaning 5x. So were you seeing fish that you couldn't catch on your live scope today when you were guiding with Travis Wise? Or were you not seeing any fish and so you had to move? Meaning uncatchable, frustrating, dropping to them, they wouldn't bite, and so you just had to move on. What did you see that made you move as much as you did? Did you see fish you couldn't catch? Because I know you're looking at the screen. Okay.
A lot.
So was it the day, the weather, the wind? Because, you know, like you couldn't get your drift that one day. So could you get a good drift in today?
Perfect conditions today.
So perfect conditions today. Did you have sun or clouds?
Mostly sunny.
So solar powered. You can't make the sun an excuse. The wind wasn't an excuse. So maybe the pressure got
It's not the pressure, dude.
Oh, all right. Here's a question for you. Did you at any point today employ the 3-pound test technique?
No.
A very interesting experience would have been, and a great opportunity for a video. Travis Wise, feel free to comment, because Travis and I have talked about situations where if you downsized, and we heard from some of the Japanese pros that they went down to 3- and 5-pound tests to generate bites. And you had at least one experience where that made the difference. Who cares? I mean, honestly, who cares if you're using 3 or 5 or 8 pound test? Because at the end of the day, it's not a tournament, and you carry the leader in your boat. Why not try it?
Maybe I should have today.
I mean, it would have been fun just to say, "Holy shit, there it is."
My guy wants to fish. My guy wants to fish the river tomorrow. So,
okay, well, maybe you'll have a different experience then. I'm just saying, anybody thinks it would have worked if Travis did take a moment to retie some 3 pound leaders, and maybe both of you fish at that point. You know what I mean? Because clearly you got the crappy size baits with the Great Lakes Finesse, right? That they predicted a win on their baits. It didn't happen, but still they had some good finishers up there. So you got the finesse size baits. Now maybe they're seeing those more and they're going to get conditioned to those at some point. So you'll have to go to micro baits to catch them. Who knows?
Those fish hardly see any baits.
Okay. Well, there was a lot of boats for how many weeks? You couldn't go to the lake, so the open wasn't there. So that would have pressured the river fish. Interesting. But who knows, man? It's just a thought. You know those thoughts, those crazy thoughts I have in my head. What would have made a difference? That Alberto knot won't work on 3 pound tests. Wilbur, is that when you have to tie the FG knot, that FT knot that I love so much?
It'll work.
I mean, at the end of the day, you could tie if you really wanted to, and you were hating life that much, you could put a little micro swivel, those little Spro micro swivels. I've seen people drop shot those for. Especially got bigger guides. They'll go through the vertical dropping, no problem. Boom. God, I know some people tie 20-foot leaders, so there's absolutely no braid in the water. How about that? Yeah. Could that make a difference? Maybe not when you're using 5 pound braid. I don't know. All those things I think about, man. All those things I think about. Yeah, true. Southern Jersey's got a good point. The baits they're using on that light, on the light line is more important than the line, to be honest.
Yeah, the hook size. The hook size is important.
Yeah, you downside. So they're actually, if you think hook size is important, they are seeing what you're saying. You're saying they're swimming over to that bait, they're inspecting the bait, and they're going, I'm not eating that 1/0 drop shot hook.
Fine.
No,
Eric,
no.
I'm gonna share this with everybody. I'm gonna share this with everybody.
Yeah.
Turn me into the DNR or the DEC, whatever you want to do. I may or may not have put a live goby on next to a lot of big fish. And guess what?
You didn't catch them. Well, how does your live goby stand out when there's 5 million live gobies on the bottom?
I'm just saying.
How'd you hook the live goby on? Was it in the mouth, through the back? Did you drop shot?
I didn't use a goby.
Okay, so if you were to use a goby, were you drop shotting the goby or
I would drop shot a goby with the hook through its lips? Yeah,
I got you. So if you were to do it, that's what you would do,
right?
If it's an invasive
it's illegal to possess or use live gobies or dead gobies as bait.
It's in the regs.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
And I would not want to break any laws that this government has put forth.
Is it the Modelo talking? Because it sure seems like it. So literally, I don't know, before we went live, Travis, he had an edge to him, man. And so, and then I didn't know he was drinking Modelo. I think it's the Modelo talking, man. Don't let that angry guy out tonight. You're doing good.
Oh, shit.
What happened, man?
I don't know. I guess I rigged the same rod.
That's weird. You tied a fresh leader on twice.
Yeah.
As in you took new leader off to tie in new leader?
We're fine.
These things happen. These things happen. Dang. Did you get your sticker yet?
No.
Did you get your sticker? I sent Travis the St. Lawrence Super Tanker sticker from the Bass Lab for his day 1 25-pound bag.
Oh, then I get home. Then I get home.
He didn't get the Super Tanker award because he didn't have a good bag 3 days. Yeah, what happened?
And then Cole's got to show me something he's super proud of.
All right. Yeah.
He apparently somebody bought him a globe, a model of a globe.
Okay. Was it flat like a pancake for him?
No, it was a real model of what the official narrative of this reality is, a round globe that's spinning around and I had to explain to him. I said, basically, that's propaganda, and we're not going to allow that in our house.
Does he know what propaganda is?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. And how did your wife respond to the speech that you gave tonight?
She didn't appreciate it.
Got it. So, so how would you draw it out? Could you draw us a map of what you think the world looks like? Or I'm sorry, the whatever you call it. I can't say the word.
Our reality
I can't.
Is whatever we decide it is. So
you don't live in Calcium, New York? Oh, I got you. Okay. And so what do you believe?
I believe it's a plane.
What's a plane?
Okay. I'm not going to go there tonight, Eric, because
you already did. Well, no, you already did. How can you? Okay, well, but there you're getting a little serious about it. So, I mean, now we just have to understand what your reality is.
Yes, we do, don't we?
It's impossible. It shifts a lot, but that's all right. I mean, look at it. Well, it does. I mean, depends on what flavor YouTube channel you're watching or podcast you're listening to. I mean, think about how much it shifted in the last 3 years. You totally abandoned me, man. You were training me up good. You thought you had me in the game. And then you're like, it's completely wrong about all that. I just wonder when the next hammer is going to drop. Eric, it's not this, it's that. Is that coming soon? Or are you you're solid with your guy with that deep voice? Let me see if I can imitate it. Nothing. It doesn't matter.
Okay, good. Why do I have to rig up 2 of these rods?
I don't know, man.
Do today?
I'm in a slump says a flat plane with a firmament above. Read the Bible. Well, I don't. It's a simulation. MC Hammer. LOL. They'd make a hell of a boat. I'm sure it'll be fine. There's the troll master, Mac Emmerich. I listen to his stuff, Mac. Travis, if I not listened to your podcast and asked inquisitive questions, like literally giving you a shot to convince me and asking you a bunch of questions, I'm curious. How many podcasts of mine have you asked to listen to? Let me give you the number, everybody. Fucking 0. He's always espousing what he believes, but he never asked me what I believe. True or false, Travis? Travis? Lizard man? I can tell by your smile. He won't answer the question. Anyway.
When's our next guest coming on?
I lost him again. Why can't I hear you now?
I'm right here, bud.
I don't know, dude. This is weird. I keep losing audio.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Audio. I lost him again, everybody. I can't hear him. What is going on?
I'm right here, bud.
Test. Okay. Travis, say something, bro.
I'm right here.
You're back.
Okay, welcome back.
Don't know what's happening. Let's check. 1 minute ago, our special guest said, I'm going to kiss the kids and wife, and I'll be on shortly.
Good.
All right. You guys will like this special guest we got.
There's another virus coming, another scandemic.
All right. What you rigging up? What are going to be on the end? What's on the business end of those sticks right now there, Smallmouth Master? Travis?
A Ned rig.
I'm out. Oh, yeah, right guys, here, guess who's on? South Jersey, no. Matthew Weimer, no. Travis, say something, bro.
I'm right here, dude.
I lost you again. Either you're goofing me Or I've lost you. I don't get it. I got to push test every time. What in the
so
absolute fa? Watch, you'll come back on. You there?
I'm here.
See, look at that, man. I got to go into settings and push test, and then you come back.
That's weird. Don't let it happen again.
It's technology, man. What else, man? What are you putting on the business end of those things, bro? Let's have a look. Okay, snack crawl. Black seems to be your favorite color these days.
Yes.
Have you ever seen color make a difference? Like group of fish, you're on a group of fish. You're throwing baits. You tend to stay in that same color family. You make a color change. Does it trigger a bite?
Sometimes I think change of baits does more than color, but
are you on or off the max scent right now?
I'm a little general believer.
All right. Are you on or off the flatworm?
I haven't used a flatworm much this year, maybe a dozen times.
Interesting. Do you throw the color brown?
Sure.
Have you thrown the large size flatworm and upsized your bait?
No.
Really? That's interesting.
Why would I need something that looks unrealistic larger?
Because they're a smelt eater? Are smelts this big? Huh.
No. None of these baits look real. Okay. Does this really look like a crayfish? I love Great Lakes Finesse, but that don't look like a crayfish.
It looks
if
like
you
a
saw
baby
that
crayfish.
on the rocks, would you say that's a crayfish?
That's a baby crayfish.
Nothing looks like
that's a baby. Real... It's a baby crayfish.
No, it doesn't.
You've never seen a juvenile crayfish?
Doesn't look like that, Eric.
I think it does. It has the body shape and 2 claws. What the fuck? It has the shape and profile and outline of a craw. What? And by the way, smallmouth are trained to look at craws with no claws. Bass are triggered to eat the Ned more than anything because it doesn't have pinchers. You know?
Does this flapping hog look like a crayfish?
I can't hear you.
Does that look like a crayfish?
It's like a hairy hog.
No, none of this stuff.
Because this is ridiculous. Real.
What does this look like? Nothing. It looks like a piece of plastic.
Let's do this. Test. I'm good.
My God.
I don't know, bro. Don't even know. I'm not even sure what you just said about that flapping hog. That looks like a big ass craw. Like one of them slobsters that's been growing on the bottom. Generally got a bigger bite for us that one day. I don't know if you still fish it much, do you? But here's what I know. Those Canadian boys believe in it. What you think? Erie darter and cucumber all day. Yeah, what's everybody's favorite smallmouth bait for Ontario in the St. Lawrence River? Sound off. We got one in already.
Man.
Erie darter and cucumber.
I'm going to tell you the number one bait is right here.
Wow, isn't that a little self-serving?
Bro, I'm not lying.
I can't hear you, man. I get you for like a sentence and then you're out. It's just crazy, man. This ain't gonna work.
We're gonna bring tonight's guest.
I'm gonna leave and come back and see if that doesn't fix my audio issue.
Okay,
because literally I'm having to reset it every 2 minutes.
Go ahead, Eric. Stop talking.
It's bizarre. I don't get it. And when I test it, it's perfect. God damn, it's killing me. Let me just go to maybe the Yeti so I could just hear you. It's not gonna be as fun because I won't have my headphones on.
What's up, guys? What's up, Philip? What's up, Mark? Chris, welcome.
You there?
Samantha, yeah, I'm here.
Do I sound any different when I'm talking through the speakers in my computer?
No, you sound really good. Let's bring our next guest on so we can move on here.
Excellent. Cornelius!
What's up, gentlemen? Everyone behaving?
He's there, man. He's there.
Can you hear me?
We got you good, man. You look good. You sound good.
Thank you. You guys behaving? Everybody behaving? Everyone getting along?
We're good, man.
I missed?
He tried to take it there twice.
Did somebody say flatworm?
Flat earthworm.
What is a flatworm?
It's called the flat earthworm. That's the next bait he's bringing out.
Thanks for having me back on, guys. It's been too long,
man. You know it. Cornell. Welcome, Cornell. For those of you guys who don't know who he is, we're just assuming. Hey, we're assuming everybody knows who you are. This is Cornell, YouTube fishing vid. That's right, man. I mean, one of the OGs in the YouTube game. Travis and him go way back. I didn't know who he was. I got to talk to him, watch some videos of him. I'm like thinking he's a famous guy. I was so excited. You guys called me. I think you FaceTimed me. You're on the shores of Lake Ontario, some lake up there up north. And then we went fishing on the Potomac together to help Travis out in his tournament. And I got to tell you something. The dude can catch him. He is one of the funniest people I know. He is a jokester extreme. Recently got to know him a little bit better because we're talking kind of frequently. Went to lunch. Got to learn about him as a human being, and you won't find a finer person on the planet, man. He's a dynamite guy.
Takes one to know one, Eric.
Yeah, man. No question. You're good people. You're cut from the right cloth, brother.
Thank
you. I'll say this, man. I got mad respect for his fish catching abilities as a co-angler. You have 2 tournament wins just this season. Do I got it right?
Close. I've made.
One was last year. Sorry.
The Piedmont division has been the one where I've really shined. It's been an awesome season there. I've decided to jump into quite a few more tournaments this season. But yeah, Piedmont, I started off with a blank. I blanked on the first tournament of the season on Smith Mountain Lake, and then it was redemption time. I had to get back out there and pick it up. And the next tournament I won. Yeah, I won the Kerr. The next tournament after that was High Rock, and with one more fish, it would have been a back-to-back win. I came in second in the High Rock.
Unbelievable.
What?
Yeah, third. That was with 4 fish. It was a tie for second. I got to say that, but it was a tie for second. But my tie mate had 5. I had 4 with the matching weight for a tie at second, and James River was a 6th place. So I got 3 top 10s in a row, and we're looking forward.
Unbelievable, man.
We're looking forward to the next Kerr Super Tournament. So that's coming up on the 9th, 10th, I think, next month. A lot going on.
2 days, right? 2 days.
Yep. 2-day tournament on Kerr. So if I can get back there, and if I could do well there, it would be one heck of a season. If I didn't blank at Smith Mountain, it would have been pretty perfect season, I would say. That would have had, I think, maybe 1 or 2.
So how many
would have done it for
can you see the comments?
No, I haven't looked. I got the glare is so bad on my glasses. I'm an old man.
Oh, people have a bunch of questions already for you.
Private chat. Okay, what do I do here to look at what the
it should say comments.
Private chat comments. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. Whoa. All right. Whoop. Here we go. Let's see where.
Who cooks up a crappy sandwich in a Pelican? For those of you who don't know, I think Cornell was the first guy to cook a fish on the water that he caught. Filet.
Jamie, yes, my thumbs are great. I had some major trigger thumb and horrible stuff that us old guys and joints have. So we're good, man. I'm in good shape nowadays. Cortisone shot and a little bit of rest, ice and heat, man. It went a long way.
You had trigger thumb?
Bad.
Like
so bad.
I got trigger finger.
Yeah, I've had trigger finger.
I'm not kidding. Like seriously.
Seriously had 4 surgeries on 4 fingers and almost had it done on this left hand of mine. And the cortisone.
Are you kidding me?
No, I've had it rough for a while. It's genetic.
Time out. Did you have to go to a hand specialist to get that fixed?
Oh yeah, I went to a hand specialist. I traveled 2.5 hours to see a guy.
Can you send me his number?
Yeah, I sure can. He's actually one of the only ones on the old East Coast that does a certain technique where it's not as invasive and they won't cut you wide open. They'll put a little stab cut in there and they'll go in with a tool and open that sheath and get you moving just fine. And
where did you get your cortisone?
Cortisone was local here. I'm a Maryland guy, so right here,
yeah, me too.
Down the street, man. And I was fighting even doing a cortisone shot with the worry he wasn't gonna, do anything for me and that it might slow down the healing. But I went in there and within a day and a half, I shook my head and regretted every minute I hadn't done it before, and it was amazing. So,
Can I ask what a trigger finger is?
Yeah, a trigger finger is a situation where if you put a lot of pressure on your hand, there's a tendon right below each of these knuckles. That tendon slides up and down your finger, and there's sheaths that hold the tendon to your bone. And basically, when you bend, that tendon sliding up and down, if you aggravate or inflame any of these tendons from either squeezing too hard, fishing, working with your hands, construction, it's so many. And some people are more prone to it if they're genetically. I mean, my dad had them, and thanks, Dad, he passed them on down. So let's use my trigger thumb as an example. Right there, I can still feel a hard nodule. It's not tender anymore, doesn't hurt, but there's a bit of scar tissue there. So what would happen is if that's super swollen, that's just another fishing cut right there. If that's swollen and I try and bend, as that tendon slides through the sheath that's right here, and then right here, it gets caught. It goes through it, but then it gets caught. And to get it to go through that sheath because it's swollen and inflamed, it just triggers and it goes pop.
Oh, dude.
Man, if you want to talk about nighttime, if you don't wrap it, if you don't keep it from bending, if you don't stabilize it, and you just continuously let it pop and pop, it's just going to keep getting bigger and swollen and bigger and swollen. And then it's just the point where it gets fused.
Yeah, and it'll like you get your finger stuck in a position.
First you'll scream when it goes like so, and then you literally in some cases have to, and then that pain right there. You don't even want to talk about it.
It's brutal, dude. It brought me to my knees a couple of times recently.
It's a rough one, yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that can relate. But you got there.
Has anyone ever broke off and then put your reel in the boat and then took off and the line just comes out?
It keeps going.
I do it on purpose to straighten out my line, but I do it on purpose. I'm not.
It's never happened to you?
Maybe once. I think I had that happen. Yeah, that truly probably happened one time.
Cortland will send you a free spool. Don't worry about it. Brooksy, you're still on. Send him some more lines.
Let me see if there's anybody I've missed.
What kind of braid do you use?
What kind of braid do I use?
Yeah.
Early on it was Power Pro like everybody. I guess that was the way it went. It was original Power Pro, then Power Pro Slick. And then from there, I did try some of the, what was the class? There's another one. It's going to slip my mind, but I went right to the Sunline SX1. Okay. These are steady reels. That was something I was loving those. And recently I haven't heard of this. There was a company out there, Cortland. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of Cortland?
No. Tell me more.
Yeah. So what I have been using and what I've liked is Sunline X Plasma. I brought it up a notch, and the X Plasma for me has been really great.
Why do you like it?
It's really, really, really smooth. It casts beautifully. It's not fraying and weakening. It's really a great line. From what I've noticed, I mean, I'm always open to trying something different. I know Cortland is in the mix with one of you guys, so yeah, maybe I've never touched the Cortland line. I've never put it in my hand, so couldn't say one thing or another about it. But X Plasma is what's on virtually all my reels at this point.
Nice, man. Well, I'm going to dive into a little. I think we need to do a full-on blown show about like techniques from the back of the boat to generate a bite, because there's a lot of people that fish tournaments, they're team tournaments like I fish. So I'm working with my partner, and then there's you where your partner doesn't really have to work with you. What are your biggest takeaways? How long you've been doing it? Like tournament fishing overall. I know you've been a boater, you've been a non-boater.
Never been a boater. Well, no, I take that back. I was a boater way, way back.
That's what I'm saying. Way back in your way, way back club days.
Nothing major, never any of the FLW into the MLFs. This is my 10th season.
Wow.
BFLs. And
that's a lot of lessons.
A speckling of what was Costa, now Toyota Series mixed in. It's been a long time since I fished an actual Costa was what they were. And I haven't fished a Toyota until just this year, where I got to see my man Travis and hang out a little bit and fish the St. Lawrence, which was absolutely one of the most awesome fishing experiences of my life. No question.
I mean, that's awesome. You guys got to hang a little bit, because he'd been dodging you for a while. I mean, people were kind of like the comments earlier that they were confused as to like why he was ducking you.
He wasn't ducking me. I wasn't ducking him. There's, like I said in that last time, there's no love lost. We are as tight as ever. It's just like he's got a couple kids, I got a couple kids, I got a day job, he's got a tough job. I can't imagine the amount of effort and time he puts into what he does. And he's high energy. I mean, I don't know if I can keep up with Travis. He is a beast out there. But yeah.
That's why he's wearing that Beast Coast shirt, man. He's part of the Beast Coast family.
I see that.
So 10 years. 10 years.
10 years. Yep.
Oh,
70 some tournaments. Not a huge number. I mean, it's basically just one division a year.
Yeah.
And every now and then I jump in on a local one outside the division I choose. It's usually Shenandoah or Piedmont.
Yep.
And this year was the exception. I just felt like I have the time. I have the inclination. I have a work schedule that's really flexible and people that I work with that allow it to be flexible. So I jumped in on 2 divisions, Shenandoah and Piedmont. And I did just jump in on that Toyota series. And I fished the BFL All-American, which I had to take time off and run down to.
That's right.
Yeah, I did that.
Story there, man. So where should we start on your journey, man? Like initially when you jumped in, you weren't a newbie. You had some good fishing experience under your belt, right?
I'll share this. I think I'm like a lot of guys out there that jump into co-anglers. We definitely want to get on the water. I mean, we want an opportunity to go fish. And no question, as cliche as it is, and the sell from all these, all these MLFs and Bass Opens and all that, they want to attract people to fish the divisions and the circuit. So a small entry fee to get out on the water with, whoever, we're randomly paired. You never know who you're going to get, but you're on the water and you're on all kinds of different bodies of water. And I had a boat, and like a lot of people, that may have a boat and have a single life and they don't have a wife, they don't have kids. They're able to have the time and the money to get out there and do it. Well, the kids showed up and a big old truck and a Triton turned into a minivan and a Pelican Bass Raider with an electric motor on the back. So that is really it. So once the Triton went away and the opportunity to be out on bigger water and more bodies of water and to get to where you wanted to go, because it's not just in that kind of boat, it's not just the fishing, it's just getting there is fun when you got a boat like that. So everything about it was something I missed dearly. So I jumped in, looked into the whole at what was FLW at the time, and I had an interesting thing in my head because I've been fishing going way, 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 way back. The first person I ever connected with who was into bass fishing had himself a bass boat, and he put something in my head and he made the suggestion that I'm never fishing tournaments. Everybody cheats. Everybody's, cheating in these things. And I got a worry in my head that's like, well, I don't think I want to go anywhere where people are cheating. But I think he was more talking some of the very small local tournaments. He wasn't talking about these major tournaments. I mean, we never know what's going on.
Major tournaments. The
more I looked into it, the more I talked to him, and the more people I got to know. This is a no-brainer. I jumped in full force into the first, I think it was a Shenandoah division BFL 10 seasons ago. And just from that point on, I just stuck with it. I had a lot of experience. I had fished out of my own boat, but I thought I knew a lot. Once I did the co-angler thing, I learned so much more than I thought I ever. I mean, it was amazing.
Did you really? Like, what were some of the biggest aha moments along the way? Like shocking you to go, man, I don't know a lot.
There's too many to list. Sincerely, there's too many to list. When it comes to answering the question, I don't think I could, because there is just so much that you can take from so many. Because in fishing, the variables are beyond belief. I mean, you take a golfer, you've got all the different clubs, all the irons, all the drivers. You've got all the weather variables when it comes to the wind and the greens and air. There's so much that golf has that challenges you. But I want to tell you right now, fishing, you break it down, there are way more variables in fishing than even golf. And it is beyond belief what it takes to put it all together. And that's what makes the puzzle so awesome. I mean, it is just such an incredible sport to me that I can't get enough of 6-pound bass is my hole in one. And I think we have an opportunity to get more holes in ones than those golfers out there.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So I can't get enough of it. It's just that good and that fun. And that
awesome. When you say like you learned a ton, was it from gear, presentation? Like, what were the main things that you took away from it? And then how have you woven that into your style to get you to where, you've won one, came in second, knocked on the door for another first? Like what things have you honed based on your experience as a non-boater?
again, it's really cliche to talk about it, but when it comes to what we need to do in the back of the boats, we just need to go light. We need to be finesse. We need to absolutely do something different behind the boater. We just can't fish what he or she is fishing. There's just no way. So, you know, I'm a big finesse guy. A lot of people know if they watch my YouTube channel, you know, a lot of it's naturally going to happen because I'm on a lake 8 minutes from here that's so heavily pressured that.
Oh yeah. Are you talking about Black Hills?
Yeah, up here in my Lake and Black Hill Regional Park. It's just
crystal clear water, right? Full of grass.
It varies. It depends. There's some opportunity for it to go stained, and when it does, it's a big deal. I look forward to that happening. Yeah. That's when things change, and I don't have to stick with finesse, and I could break out, you know, some of the big sticks. But naturally, behind the boat, you just have to fish different. You have to fish lighter line. You got to fish smaller baits. You got to get your casts down. You got to really, really be accurate with your casts. And you got to be sure you're respectful to your boater and stay on your half of the boat. But you also have to watch your boater and see where he may not be and where he may not have casted, and pick off little subtle spots here and there that might be to your advantage and may surprise yourself, maybe for your boater.
Right. You told me a story, which is really cool, because you fished with one of the best sight fishermen, and Scooter Lilly will know this name. Flash Butts down in North Carolina. And Scooter will tell you this. He's probably one of the best sight fishermen. Kerr's is one of his strong suit lakes, if
Flash
you will.
Butts.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Yep, Flash Butts. They call him Flash, bro. And
we go way back. Yeah, I met him a long time ago.
Extraordinary sight fisherman. And you told me a story. I think it was the day you were with Flash. And you certainly don't have to reveal what you were fishing with. But let's just say it was a moving bait. And I think you said you saw just a little, like, not ledge, but it was in shallow enough water where you could see a rock, kind of like a little bit.
I'll share a little more detail. I'll give it up.
Really I think this is a great example of how your boater didn't hit the spot. You're paying attention, using your brain optics and eyes in natural, you know, cover, if you will. You know, you didn't see the fish. You didn't look at panoptics. You didn't look at the 2D. You looked around the surroundings.
Flash Butts doesn't have panoptics.
Yeah, absolutely does, but not where he was fishing. It was super shallow, nose into the cover. Yeah. I'm in the back of the boat fishing what I've got, and it was a little pocket. It was back in a corner, and I've got a little bit of shoreline off in front of me that I can hit. There's really bare bank, but off the bank was just the ever so slight shadow. It wasn't a shadow. It was just a stick. I think it was a stick, maybe 2-3 feet on the surface, dark spot, just a dark spot.
Yep.
And I was just throwing a fluke. I mean, there's nothing to hide. I mean, it was just a
fluke. I didn't know if you wanted to share or not. No big deal.
Just flickering a fluke around and just trying to get something to attract, and just saw the dark spot, flicked it over to it, let it die, let it drop out of sight, twitch, brought it back into sight, and that was it.
Big fish, right?
It was a kicker. Yeah, it was a 5, just a minute under 5. It was.
But a lot of people, I will tell you this: a lot of people that are in the back of the boat. Boater crowds the shore, sticks the nose into the cover where they believe the fish might be, because of course he's up front, and just quit and stop paying attention and not looking for that one little opportunity, that little contour change, that little stick up, that dark spot, that change, that rock vein that comes out. I think you had another fish on a rock vein in a tournament that your boater didn't see, but you saw. So tell that story. These are really key moments. And I think,
well, that was an interesting one, because it wasn't that he didn't see it. It's just that he was focused on the mission, and his mission was cover. He was going from tree to tree, bush to bush, down the bank. And it was the moment where he was running from one bush to the next and just was scooting right past the rock vein. He wasn't interested in fishing it. So as he's hustling, I'm target casting. I'm still hitting everything. And I saw the rock vein. I know what those are all about. And that was another fluke. And that was just drawing it out and making it happen. It's one of those kind of things where even the first story I told you about, it's a high percentage opportunity for a boater to hit what he was hitting.
Sure.
He may catch 3, 4, 5 catches limit in one bush. I may just happen to get lucky and have that one dark spot I cast to and catch what I caught.
That one rock vein. But
it was just about being observant. It's just about casting your targets and having an arsenal
right?
That you can reach for whenever that opportunity presents itself. And
yeah, I think
part of the game, and it's hard to puzzle. But
so a lot of comments are, well, one specific is saying that Eric's taking over my show as usual. And
Travis, you're rigging your ride up and walking away from the camera.
I have questions as well. I'm
now
taking this
here,
all
welcome
in,
to the show.
and I'm prepared to ask some questions once you guys are done with this conversation.
No, welcome to the show, Travis. What would you like to add?
Bring it on, Travis. What you got?
I would like to know about your recent experience on the St. Lawrence River as a non-boater fishing in that type of current. Man. I want to know some secrets. There's some things that you can share of how you were able to catch fish, because I feel my co-anglers that have fished with me seem to struggle sometimes, and they also get snagged a lot.
Yeah, I got snagged. I got snagged a couple of times, but I'll share that I fished with Brent Anderson, the winner of the St. Lawrence 2023 Toyota Series,
who's been on the show for everybody to know.
What an experience! It was a really great day to learn and to see what I saw was, and he didn't. And there's no hiding it. He shared exactly what he was doing. There was nothing about what he contributed to FLW when it comes to what he was fishing with, how he was fishing, and I was there. I saw it, so I can say happily that there isn't anything that wasn't what it was. Behind the boat, brand new to me, was the idea of dropping baits pretty much straight down on a drift. And I basically was working a Ned rig. I didn't catch a single keeper in 3 days on a drop shot. I was basically fishing naked Ned rigs. I was working maybe at the most 1/5 of an ounce. I had 8-pound test, about maybe 10 feet a leader initially. And then I actually lengthened it out to about 30 at one point, kind of adjusting, and ended up getting myself a small limit the first day with Brent. But then with what I learned and that little bit of experience from day one, went into day two, almost not even fishing. Eric, I told you what happened. My day two boater broke down and I almost didn't even get to fish day two.
I talked to Cornell that night, man, and
I found the tournament director found me another boater, because that guy's co-angler was hurt on the way back in rough water and hurt his back so bad he couldn't fish. So I got paired up with a guy who lost his co, and I had a chance of not fishing because my boater was out with a broken motor, busted motor, and I got paired up with a guy and ended up getting out there doing similar stuff to day one, just drifting. And based on what I learned, ended up with a 20+ pound bag day two, made it to day three, which was absolutely insane.
Where did you fish day two with that 20 pound? How far away from takeoff?
I think we probably were pushing an hour. Now, you asked me kind of where I was. Again, I saw lighthouses. I saw islands with castles. I don't know this river. And it like you said, it's a huge river. It's a giant body of water. And for me to even triangulate where I was, or I probably, if I ran down the river, say that looks familiar, maybe we could go to that spot. That may have been where I was, but I'm safe face. I'm buried in the wind. I mean, I'm bouncing the way. I can't keep up. I mean, half the time I have no idea where I'm going. When we stop, I get my lines out and I start fishing. But I did catch a couple fish up shallow, jerk bait, chatter bait on a shoal, on day two, and 8 pounds, 2 4-pounders.
Chatter bait.
What's that? Yeah, moving baits. It was fun, man. It was just absolutely an epic day.
Was he using a moving bait?
What's that?
Was he using a moving bait as well?
Nope. Oh, well, I should say when we went up on the shoal, he didn't use a jerk bait. He didn't throw a chatter bait. What did he throw? No, he actually, I think he was throwing soft plastic Ned rigs and things in the shallow rocks and dragging, just trying to get him, getting something off the bottom. It wasn't drifting. He was just, working the bait. He may have,
by the way,
possibly. I don't think so.
So most co-anglers and people you guide with, they'll take their phone, and I guess there's an app that lets you remember exactly where you fished, with trails and stuff.
Not me. Use that. I guess I play by the rules when it comes to what FLW insists we do. We're not allowed to touch our phones. We're not allowed to, unless we're calling the tournament director. It's an emergency.
You can have it running in the background.
I could. I guess I'm too focused on where I'm. Yeah, it's not. I don't touch it. I don't touch my phone. I don't lock in any coordinates. I keep it real and respect my boaters and make sure I don't do anything that's ever gonna, cause bad blood or have any, rifts down
There
the
you
road.
go.
Yeah, not wanting to burn a bridge, that's for sure. So that's part of the reason I don't do videos. I don't, as a lot of you guys may know, I don't put up I don't put up any videos of my tournament days. I may do some practice videos. There's only one video on my YouTube channel out of hundreds and hundreds of videos where I was actually on the Potomac and I strapped on the chesty and decided to get a video and came out really well.
Where can people find you on YouTube? Let's take a minute to if you can put up his YouTube fishing vids channel, that'd be great. But
yeah,
you want to talk about your YouTube channel and for a second now that you mention it.
Yeah. The YouTube channel is just my effort to share the love and passion of fishing and offer up some ideas, tips, and tricks as to how I fish. And it's just me fishing and me telling people what I'm doing and offering everything I've got to help them get out there and be successful. That's pretty much all my channel's ever been about. It's never been about getting anything. What's that?
How many subscribers do you have?
I don't know. Like I'm pushing 60,000, something like that.
And when did you start your channel?
What's that?
When did you start your channel?
2008.
What was the inspiration?
I think we may have talked about it, but I'll share. I think
because there's a lot of new viewers,
They'll be curious to know this, but my YouTube channel started because I took my 13-year-old second cousin and his dad, my first cousin's husband and son, offshore fishing for marlin, mahi, tuna. We were out fishing offshore.
Yeah.
And I had a buddy of mine who had a big old boat, and it was an opportunity to get out and do some fishing out in the salt. And the trip was amazing. I had a handy cam and I was videotaping the whole event. And a young man was 13 years old, fell asleep on the way out, still asleep when the first rod went off. I was in the chair, caught a 40-pound tuna, and he was awake.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't 10 minutes after we put the lines back in, the line went off. He's in the chair, and it ended up being a blue marlin.
Wow.
Never been offshore fishing, never caught anything more than a catfish, I believe. And the kid's now in a chair tangling with and caught and got a clean release on a blue marlin. I had it all on video. To make a long story short, I needed to get all that footage put together and sent in some way, shape, or form to this kid and his dad so they can share it with their family and friends.
Wow.
And it was just that intense an experience and just that much. So anybody and anyone watching right now, if you ever wanted to go to my YouTube channel and go back in time, hit time warp, and watch my first video, you'll see exactly what it was all about. You'll see my goofy editing and music in the background, whatever it is. This kid was so lit. And I got online. I figured out, I didn't go online. I went to like Best Buy or something and bought a video editing program. Made sure I figured out how to get all the footage into the computer. I taught myself everything when it comes to editing, when it comes to how to get the footage into the computer. And I just went at it and I built this video. And the only way I can get it out to my cousin and to his friends and family was through a link. And I basically put it on YouTube, made a channel, kept it public, not knowing anything about social media. And next thing I know, people are commenting. People are responding to the video and asking me questions and saying, great job. And I'm just smiling. I was like, that's interesting, but I'm not responding. I'm not interacting. I'm just like,
yeah.
And now the links everywhere to my family and friends are loving it, but the channel is live. And that video is seen by the world, and it's getting great response. Good for you, buddy. That's great. And next thing I know, I decided to, with handy cam in hand and a tripod on my old bass boat, and an effort here to put a little tripod or a monopod behind me at a pond. I started making more videos and just putting them up and kept it live, but still didn't even realize that it's public and all these interactions and all these comments and all these people that are liking what they're seeing. I'm not interacting. Like, that's weird. These people are talking to me. What am I supposed to respond to this random stranger? It was just a weird dynamic. I just didn't understand. Way back. Finally, one of my friends said, you got a YouTube channel, huh? I go, yeah. I go, how many? He said, how many subscribers do you have? And I said, I think it's over like 600, I guess. And to him, that freaked him out. He's like, are you kidding? 600? You got to do something with that. Next thing I know, I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, you need to make an effort to do you do this? Do you have custom thumbnails? Have you monetized? And basically something triggered. I was like, no, but should I? He's like, dude, come on, put some effort out. Obviously people are liking what you're putting up. Do more and add more and respond and interact and do what it's made to do, which is contribute to a genre of fishing, and I did, and I basically started putting it together. And a few of my golf course pond fishing videos at my parents' house at the
that's awesome.
in Florida, exploded, and I ended up putting what was at the time one of the first snakehead videos up with a buddy of mine.
Amazing.
That thing blew up, and just a lot of videos just started getting a lot of traction. And I collaborated with this guy and that guy and a few people here.
Yeah, didn't you have one rod, one reel on
your
boat?
I made him a blackened fish sandwich on the water. Blackened fish sandwich on the boat, pulled out every little ingredient out of a little backpack, and yeah, surprised him with a little, catch and cook way back when, and that did very well, and people got and yeah, that's kind of the story of how my YouTube channel started, which was really kind of, again, and it's never, again, since the beginning and since the inception, it was never about fame and fortune. It wasn't about making any money. It's never been about, anything but just going fishing like I normally would.
Yeah.
Documenting it and chatting with the camera like you guys are on the boat. That's what it's all about for me. And basically just having a good time and maybe offering something to somebody so they can take it with them and go be successful.
I know time is valuable as far as, finding the time to make videos and getting good content.
Rough. Yeah, it's tough to do.
It is tough, but here's an idea. I know you want to respect your boaters, but why not film like your experience, traveling up to the St. Lawrence River at the hotel, what baits you're going to rig up, and then maybe do a recap every night. Like you could definitely put something together that would interest people without showing the fishing during the day.
You are 100% right. And I've absolutely considered that and thought about it.
Yeah.
Just being lazy. I guess I'm worn out from, day work. I got kids, I got family, and yeah, it's hard to find the motivation to put it together as much as I'd love to do that for everybody and put it together and put up videos consistently. Cause that's the thing with YouTube. If you're not consistently putting up content, you're losing interest. It's kind of like, the best analogy is, your favorite sitcom. If you're looking forward to something coming on a Tuesday night at 8:00, you're waiting for it, you're looking for it, and you're watching it. If everyone knew that I was putting up a new video every Tuesday, like you guys are putting this live stream on every Monday night, you got a crowd, you got an awesome crowd here, watching. It's one of those kind of things that if you're not consistent on YouTube, you're just going to be stalemate at 60,000 subscribers. You'll have 60,000 subscribers and you'll have 800 views on every video, kind of like where things go. It really falls off. You have to be consistent. You've got to constantly put content. And it is absolutely right, Travis. I have a lot of opportunity to put up a lot of great content, but just a little bit of just everything else going on in your world, just
fully agree, man.
Your way and makes it tough. And
I agree, man. Hey, Cornell, I want to get back to the back of the boat, and I want to understand, like, not necessarily because I've talked to you about when you prep for a tournament, but what would you recommend to people that are non-boaters, maybe fishing one of the divisions in the BFL, or any non-boater, whether they're jumping in a Toyota or they're into the opens? How many rods do you bring? And then what are the actions associated with those rods? And if you could only bring a certain number of rods each tournament, how many is it? I know you're limited to what, 7?
7 limited from what I realized, and thank goodness I checked the rules, but the Toyota series limits you to 7, like it used to be in the FLW BFL.
Right. I remember that.
But now that MLF has taken over, they're actually not limiting you in the BFLs to how many rods you can have, based on what I know and what I've seen. So
very interesting.
You can torture yourself and bring more than 7 if you want. You can torture your boater if you want and bring all that crap. Sometimes it really is helpful, though, to have that kind of arsenal. And if you can really wrap them tight and throw them over your shoulder and just keep them clean and in position and rigged and ready, you may not reach for them all, but there are times when there is just that one absolute topwater moment where you just can launch something out to some schooling fish in one situation. Or you get to a position where you just absolutely have to go deeper than something and have something with a little more weight. It's just so many things that make sense to having a lot of rods on the boat. But what I've come to learn is that within certain divisions, you're going to certain bodies of water, and you're going to those same bodies of water at certain times of the year. Getting to the point where you can really hone in on what you think you're going to be doing, regardless of who you get paired with.
Do you still bring 7?
There's times that I'm bringing 3 or 4.
All right.
Rarely, but yeah, I'm usually no less than 6 or 7.
And then how many spinning rods in that 7-pack, and how many bait casters?
It depends. It really does. It does depend, but I'm no less than 2 spinning rods ever. I mean, always going to have at least 2 spinning rods.
Yep.
This last tournament on the St. Lawrence, I had 4 spinning rods and I had 3 bait casters.
Sure.
No, I take that back. I had 5 spinning rods and 2 bait casters.
Makes sense.
1 jerk bait rod and 1 pull bait rod for a chatterbait. Everything else was spy bait, Ned rig, drop shot, and I think back of what they all were, but it varies by the body of water. I've been doing it long enough, and I'm fishing the same divisions, consistently enough to know that I'm going to be bringing this and that, and this time of year needs this and needs that. So it's too variable to say exactly what it's going to be, but it is going to be. There's always going to be a drop shot or Ned rig or both.
Right.
I'm a co-angler. I mean, that's a given. It's
What do you put your tackle in? What's your tackle like? How do you carry your tackle lures?
Backpack. I don't have a big pack. I don't have a big tackle bag. I don't have multiple trays.
Yep.
I have a backpack, and in that
fishing backpack or backpack
it's a standard camper. It's a hiker kind of backpack. It's got the kind of compartments that allow me to slide a full size tackle tray for hard baits, crankbaits, anything and everything I need to fit that way. If that's what I'm even bringing, I've got enough space for a small terminal tackle, tray, and then everything else is going to be, anything from my little cutters to my pliers. There's going to be a towel or 2 in the bag. There's going to be some scents as needed, but all my soft plastics are in just Ziploc bags, just standard gallon Ziploc bags, and they're usually going to be anywhere from 3 to 6 bags filled with different types of soft plastics, from Finesse baits, drop shot, and Ned rig. And there'll be anything for flipping baits in another bag, and then there'll be Senkos and flukes in another, and they'll very, very organized so that when I reach into my bag, literally when I get in the back of the boat, I open the back compartment if I'm lucky enough to have it, and the boater's made it available. I actually take out the trays. I actually take out the plastic bags, put the backpack on the bottom, put everything on top. That's just easy access.
First thing I do.
Hands, and everything's at easy access and easy reach. And I'll put a little cutter in my pocket, and I'll put my own.
In the last year, has there ever been a time where you wished you brought something and you didn't?
Oh yeah, I would say there's probably been a time where I see what my boater's doing. It's a new thing, or it's a new place. It's a new depth. It's a new anything. Yeah, there's been times where I was like, I have that. I got that at home. I wished I had it, but at the same time, I'm also fishing and telling myself I don't want to fish what he's fishing. I'm going to fish with something else. So yes, there's some regret sometimes, but I also know that in the back of the boat, just because he's killing it with it, he may be hitting every spot and sucking them up like a vacuum cleaner, and I'm not going to be able to do anything with that bait behind him. That it's going to take someone else to do it.
I like your theory, but I also want to make a comment. I feel like there is times when you need to match what your boater's doing.
And I agree. And you know where my favorite example of that is on Kerr. When I'm fishing behind a guy who's fishing a long tapering point, he went right to where he knew fish were going to be breaking. They weren't just big bass. I mean, 3 to 5s on Kerr. And he had already, it was a second day. No, it was an interesting situation. It was a Kerr tournament that one division was going to happen on a Saturday anyway, but there was a situation where they had to do a reschedule on the other division, and it was a Sunday tournament. So it was a redo. He had just come in second place the day before, and the first one, he was going to fish the second. He knew exactly where they were. It was a heavy walking bait. On a long rod. I've never seen a bait cast as far as I saw him cast. I didn't have anything that heavy, and I had nothing close to what he was doing to get to the point that he was throwing to at the breaking fish. I was half the distance with anything I had, even the spinning rod with 10-pound braid and a 10-pound test fluorocarbon leader and a fluke. I thought I was a beast throwing that thing. I could throw a fluke forever. This dude was throwing 30-pound braid with a big walking bait. And I've never seen something throw so far. And he was smashing them. And I couldn't get to the breaking fish. And he wanted to keep at the distance to keep from spooking the school. And so I'm just sitting there. Oh my God. I wish I could get that far and get in on this, but I couldn't do anything but just fish the bank. I popped a couple with a fluke, and I threw everything I could think to throw. But yeah, I regretted not having, a far casting something or other topwater bait. And I have them all day long. I just didn't bring them with me.
Damn.
Yeah. And it would have been, me and him limiting out in, a short time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Could you have won it?
Possibly. Yeah. There could have been that opportunity. It was like that. He didn't do as well that day as he did the day before, but he, with what he was around, and if I could have done what a co-angler needs to do with a couple of leftovers, I still would have done well. Who knows?
Dang.
Yeah. That was
great story. Great story though.
Yeah, it was
good point, Travis.
Neat thing to see. That's why it goes back to what I was saying, is that as much as you'd like to travel light and not have to load up the boat and think that you don't need to bring all 7 if you're allowed 7, or even more than 7 if you're allowed to bring more than 7, sometimes there's a little regret and wonder if should this backpack weigh 50 pounds instead of 30, and should I be toting a couple of the rods and reels over my shoulder when I walk down to the dock.
Have you ever borrowed baits from a boater?
No, but I've offered baits to boaters. Yeah, the win 2 years ago on Kerr. That win was a super tournament win in 2021, where I had an opportunity to fish with a guy who was doing everything from shallow to deep, and he was scoping fish out deep on some of those well-known shoals on Kerr.
Yep.
And I had my famous drop shot with me, and he was gracious enough to say, I'm not getting him to bite, or he wasn't getting as much action as I was on the drop shot. He was very cool to actually position the boat so we both can cast to the shoal. And I was popping them, and I threw him a bag of my robo worms, and he tied them on, and we both limited out. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. There's plenty of times where that goes, and I've offered baits that were refused. I offered baits on the St. Lawrence for my day 3 boater. When I got up shallow with him, and his deep spots didn't pan out on the drift, we went up shallow, and on the 2nd or 3rd cast, I crushed a 4-pounder behind him on a chatterbait, and then that was fun. And then the jerkbait bite turned on. I got another 4-pounder on a jerkbait behind him, and I had one more fish for over 10 pounds, 3 fish behind him. And I 100% offered him my jerkbait. I said, I got another one if you want to throw it. And he refused. So I can say I've offered, but I've never received that I can think of.
Wow.
It may have been offered, but I didn't accept. It didn't really, it was a good question though. Can't think that I ever have. I was hoping you guys would ask questions. I was a little shy to come on here. I was a little shy last time, Travis. I got to be honest with you.
It's crazy to me, man.
Live streams are cool. I mean, how many guys do we have on here? How many fellow fishing friends do we have on this thing? 120, 130?
200.
200 at this point? God love you guys. That's awesome. A lot of smallmouth crush fans out there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Epic Eric fans, no doubt, of course.
Yes, most of them are Epic Eric fans.
I wish I could, it's so funny. I'm an older guy with progressive lenses here. I got this light.
Right.
Out. I'm trying to look right to see if I see a Travis Trent. Did I fish with Travis Trent one time?
Tyler Trent.
That's what it is. I think I may have. And it was.
If you were fishing with Tyler Trent, I don't think you were throwing big topwaters personally.
I can't remember if I fished with him during a spawning tournament, or I can't remember. But yeah, I may have fished with Tyler. I've met him, I think.
Okay. He's won a lot of money on Kerr.
I'm going back through some of these. Let's see. Anybody that
JP Harold said the boater always declines. If I offer them the bait, I'm catching them on. How do you approach pre-fish from Jamie Juice Newton? And then there were comments on how you keep your rods from tangling when you're running. So how do you approach pre-fish? You mentioned that you do pre-fish. Do you link up with boaters?
Practice pre-fishing, I presume, is what we're talking about.
Yep.
I have a group of guys that I hang with, and I'm lucky enough to have, and a couple of them are boaters. So I'm really blessed that I have a a couple good friends that allow me to join them, and I could honestly share the most I get out of pre-fishing is what the water temperature is, what the water clarity may be, and I never bank on what I learned during pre-fish to be what I do on the day of the tournament.
Right on.
I don't truly feel that practicing as a co-angler is an advantage or a disadvantage. It's just another day out of the water to take in anything you can take in and learn from to maybe apply the next day. But it's a big
question though. Look, I drive through the night sometimes to get to Carolina.
Right.
I wake up and I might get a couple hours of sleep.
Right.
I haven't fished all week because I've been working.
Right.
And then you run 35 minutes, maybe in a little rough water, or 40, sometimes longer.
Right.
And I'm expected to stand up and make the first cast and flip to a tree and not make a splash. Are you fucking kidding me? Pre-fish gets you in the game. It's like you work out the kinks, your line's good, you know what to expect, you check your drags. To expect somebody to stand up after a ball-busting boat ride in 40 fucking degree weather is a big ask. So pre-fish, get your shit dialed in. Now, you might be fishing more than me, but listen, when I fish with Scooter, 90% of the time in the last year, we have not practiced.
Wow.
I've driven sitting in a car 5.5 to 6 hours. I might be changing some line when I get there, eating dinner super late, waking up super early,
right,
and then taking a run, not slow. They call them Scooter for a reason.
I'm believing
and it might not be slick glass, it could be wavy. So I clamped my hand where I got the trigger finger, holding on, like as hard as you can, because it's not always calm and slick, and then try to make up and stand up and make a good cast. Like some days I can't feel my fingers because he has no windshield. He's in a nice air-conditioned or heated cabin behind that nice console. I'm in the elements. It could be raining, it could be sleeting, it could be windy, it could be like a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so for me, one day on the water, even if it's a couple hours, helps me settle down, make sure my gear's right, maybe get a bite, shake one off, know what's happened. I just feel so much more comfortable personally.
There's days where I feel like the day I did that helped.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, the best days that I've had as a co-angler, I didn't cast a line until the first line of the tournament. I didn't practice at all.
Me and Scooter won our first tournament. I drove through the night and literally with no sleep.
Yeah.
We won our first five grand. So
the most energy I find, the most I feel that if I'm getting out, I'm getting ready to fish a BFL for a Saturday morning tournament.
Yep.
If I can get to where I need to be, meaning I'm traveling to Kerr, if I've got a spot to stay, if I'm camping, if I'm staying with friends, if I can get there mid-afternoon, I can settle in. I normally it's all set up and it's rigged at home.
Yeah,
I already know what I'm going to do.
Me too.
But if I have to do any rigging, of course, it's going to happen when I get there. And I'm trying to get a good night's sleep. If I get a good night's sleep before the tournament, haven't practiced, and I wake up fresh and all my stuff's rigged and everything's ready to go, those are some of my best days on the water. I just it's on the moment. I fish exactly what I need to fish where I go. I don't ask my boater what we're doing. I don't ask him if we're fishing deep. I don't do anything but say hi, tell him I'm looking forward to fishing with him. Is there anything you need from me? Don't put the seat in the back. I need to break dance when I catch a fish. I need the space. and I'll look forward to, and that's it. And I just go out.
You don't ask why wouldn't you I'm confused.
There's a little bit of psychology, in my opinion, to that. If I burden the boater with questions, if I burden him with, if I'm not forcing, but if I'm putting it out there that give me something, I want to know what I'm doing. This is his boat. This is his place. This is where he's going. This is what he's practiced. There's always the worry and the wonder that boater may think that I am around other boaters and that I may share. Oh, he said he's fishing deep, or there's a little bit of it's ultra respect to everything that I feel the boater needs to keep to themselves. And my job in the back of the boat is to fish what I have to fish. And if I'm bringing everything I need to bring, from baits that'll be on the bottom, fish that'll be in mid column, and fish that'll be on top, I've got everything I need. And I've done it enough. And I've fished. And early on, I'll admit, I was asking that question. Early on, I was hitting them up. I was like, where are we going? Are we traveling far? you know, if it's James, are we all going all the way?
Yeah.
Where?
We're going to the chick.
Are we going to the chick? You know, I need to prepare myself. I mean, I would ask these questions.
Travis,
and it helped. It probably helped a little bit for me rigging the night before and spending those 3 hours until 2 in the morning, and then sleeping an hour and a half and waking up. But no, I've learned after now into the 10th season that
smart play.
I've got what I need. I have what I think I'll need. If I miss something, I'll adjust. But again, it's just a matter of getting a good night's sleep. It's a matter of getting on the guy's boat and seeing where we end up. And whatever I see, I reach for the rod that I need, and I play the cards that I'm dealt. And it ends up usually working out. And that's just, I think it's a lot of based on experience and a lot of based on how I want to do it and how I feel comfortable doing. And because I'm out there legitimately 100%, all I'm doing with these tournaments is going fishing to have fun.
Boom.
I care less if I win $1. I could care less where I place. I can care less about anything more than the fact that I'm out doing what I love to do. And it's just,
great perspective, Cornell.
That's simple. And I'm relaxed every day I'm out there. I'm never stressed. I'm never worried. I think if anybody on here knows my YouTube channel and sees me fish, they'll see me react to losing stuff. I mean, I show myself losing stuff all the time, and I'm laughing. I'm like, well, gotta get it back out there. Let's catch another one, guys. You know, it's just the way it goes.
Yep.
There's tournaments that I could have won with lost fish. There's tournaments that I could have had top 10s where I lost fish. There's tournaments where I could have won tons more money where everyone loses fish.
Very true.
To say that you could have won it, you could have done this, everyone else could have won it and could have done this, could have done that. Everyone loses fish. So it's one of the kind of things that I think about. It happens. I missed one. I didn't have a keeper. One more keeper would have won me high rock. I would have had a back-to-back Kerr high rock.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah. I waited.
Did you have the fish on?
I may have. You asked if I fished clean, and I did.
Yeah.
With the exception of one fish that shook off. I just don't know that it was a keeper.
Oh.
14 inches, if it was a keeper, it would have won me the tournament. But it did take off. Yeah. So I did have that one opportunity. It could have been a back-to-back win in the Piedmont.
Somebody asked your worst co-angler experience ever. And a lot of people are asking, what kind of flute is Travis playing?
Kind of flute? Are you eating like a ice pop or something? Is it like a yogurt, frozen yogurt or something?
No, freeze pop.
They're extra long, Travis.
Oh, that's a giant. Yeah. That's a big blue raspberry one too. I like it.
That's kind of, it's really getting weird watching you suck on that thing. But anyway, keep going.
Okay.
Two really super long freeze pops.
Teaching us some techniques.
Just bite on it. Don't suck on it. Don't do that. Don't do that, dude.
Did you say I like that one?
Can you just bite it and take it out of your mouth? It's starting to bother me. I can't take it anymore.
Brian,
I don't mind that, but the other way.
Good one, Brian. So I think the question was, what was my worst experience as a co-angler?
Yeah, as a co-angler.
Meaning the way a boater may have interaction with boaters, or just
anything could be just worst experience as a co-angler.
Oh, I've got one. I'm telling you right now.
And no names necessary.
No, I won't. I don't even remember his name. You guys, if it went the way it could have gone, you would not be talking to me right now.
Okay, let's hear the story.
Yeah, I was very close to death.
What happened?
In the back of the boat on Kerr.
What?
With a young gentleman that jumped in on a tournament, and it was calling for 40-plus-mile-an-hour winds, and we were going out of Nutbush.
Oh my God!
And his boat wasn't in the best of shape. It ran, but I wouldn't have known what the guts of the boat were all about. But I questioned him gently. I was like, "Really going to Bluestone?" Yeah. So he wanted to go past Clarksville, and with the forecast and the direction of the wind, I knew what that was going to entail, what that was going to be like trying to come back. And on the way back, we got into him, and we were spearing him. I lost a $300 outfit. He didn't even have straps for my rods to go out. To lock down. I lost a rod over the board, and it came down on us. It came down so bad that it was 50 plus. It was 50 some degree water temp and 50 some degree air temp.
Holy shit!
And I was soaked, and the boat was sinking because he had no bilge pump working.
Jeez.
So what do you do?
So we got into a cove out of the wind and out of the waves with a boat going lower and lower into the water, we needed to bail water. We needed to bail water. We needed to bail some water. Let me tell you, it was scary. But it was still running, and it was still, you couldn't get it back up on plane. We were just able to idle, but it was just getting worse and worse. He had a Coke bottle and he had a Sprite bottle.
You're kidding.
We put the top on the bottom and we cut the top bottom off it. And we used Coke and Sprite bottles to bail for about 2 hours. It was
unbelievable.
Just, I felt blue. I mean, I was freezing and it was horrendous.
I mean, you're almost hypothermic.
Oh, I was hypothermic. There's no question about it. So
it wasn't all like no dial for emergency service. If it was
to the point where, you know, we weren't dying yet, and we were getting some of the water out, and we started hugging the shoreline, and we'd bail, we'd move. We were slowly making tracks.
How long did it take you to get back?
It was a couple hour routine to get back. It was like nothing I've ever seen. And he should have not been fishing the tournaments in a boat in that condition. He should have known his bilge pump was working or not. He should have watched the weather forecast and seen that the wind was going to be 40 plus. It was as clear as day. I think everyone stayed in Nutbush, to be honest with you, based on it. But he ran all the way past Clarksville, and we were way up there. And it was a way.
Catch him?
What's that?
Did you catch him?
No, not really. Had a couple. Yeah,
that's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it was a rough experience. So when it comes to something like that, I would say that was my worst experience.
And what about just a cantankerous boater?
Yeah, I could say that there was one. It seems like Kerr is my nemesis when it comes to those. I did have a situation where I was wrecking them down by the dam on some rocks on a little square bill. He was throwing a spinnerbait. It was like, and he was like. With the net. he netted 1, 2, 3. I hooked number 4 and it got off, but he had the net and he said, "Let's go."
I had that experience too.
It was like, "Let's go." Another experience where I offered my crankbait. I said, "Here it is, buddy." And no, he didn't want to take it. So we went to flip bushes, and he was nose into the bushes, and I was right back in the back. He never gave me nothing for the rest of the day. So I went in with my 3 fish. And
dude, I had that same experience. So on the Potomac River, and I'll tell you who I drew: Ken McIntosh, day 1 leader. This is day 2. I'm sitting in 4th place. He's in 1st. So get the 1st place boater, 4th place non-boater.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the 3rd flight, I think. So we get there late. Joe Thomas rode over to us before takeoff, and this guy, Ken, threw him some hula grubs, Yamamoto, and he goes, "But Joe, don't get on my spot." As soon as we pull up the Blue Plains, Joe Thomas is on the wall with the ball. And they get in an argument. And I'm like, this starts my day. This is in 1996.
Dating yourself now, aren't you?
What am I throwing in 1996 at Blue Plains behind Ken McIntosh, who's throwing a hula grub? What am I throwing? Travis?
A drop shot.
A drop shot. I didn't even have the right drop shot weight. I used a bullet sinker, and I literally tied a knot on it. What am I throwing on the business end of it, Cornell? I have a lead weight. It's a bullet sinker tied with a knot.
In 96?
96. What am I throwing?
On your drop shot?
Yep. I'll give you a clue. It's a famous color on the Potomac River. It's in a power bait. And I had heard that you should fish a straight tail, and I didn't have any straight tail finesse worms, but I love this worm because they bit it in the curly tail version.
Okay. Was it the power bait, the 4-inch curly tailed, the straight tail with the little curly?
So here's what I did with the curly tail. I made it a cut tail.
Oh, okay.
And I'd never even seen a cut tail. So I'm cutting the curl off.
Yeah.
It'll still have a little straight tail with a little action. I don't even know if I did it at the right angle. Literally, I dropped, caught one, like 2 3/4, dropped, caught another one, dropped, caught a short, dropped, missed one. Cause I was literally, I think at that point, setting the hook instead of pull setting.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so rattled with the Joe fight, hadn't caught a fish, hadn't got a bite. I think I caught 3 behind him, and he goes, "This ain't working. Let's go."
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Yeah.
Yep. And it was the good guess. It was in blue fleck, by the way, or it might have been straight purple. I can't remember because I used 2 colors back then, either straight purple or blue fleck.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever heard of anybody drop shot. So
yeah, that's early. It's going way back. The drop shot for sure.
So we ran to
you were probably just mono too back then, weren't you?
Oh, I'm sure I didn't have fluorocarbon. It was straight mono. It would have been Berkeley Trimene XL in not blue, just the clear or green, and probably had a I'm sure it was a Shimano reel, and probably, if I know me, 6'8" to 7 foot medium action spinning rod.
Love it.
Yeah, and then we went to Piscataway. I was throwing a -1 in Fire Tiger, burner on the pad edge, caught another one. He literally, as I'm casting to the opposite pad edge, because we're going into the creek, and I can cast to the edge, get a little bit of the edge, but he is kind of in the middle at that point. I catch one on the left edge. He's fishing the right edge. He moves over and starts burning the edge. Literally go back into the creek. I flip just a regular Yamamoto green pumpkin red on a jig head Oldham screw lock, 1/8 ounce with the wire weed guard. Flip it to a little jetty with current coming because the tide was coming out. Miss one, and it was one of those jig bites, by the way.
Nice.
Lure wraps around my head. Co-angler lesson. I said I just missed one. He lets the boat float back, and the current pitches right to where my bait landed and catches like a 3 3/4. Lesson as a code: never say a word.
Keep it down on the down low, right?
Never say a word, man. So that's something that Cornell can do, and I don't even know how he does it. I'm not sure he doesn't have like a cricket call in his mouth, but can you do that again for the audience?
I could.
I wish you would.
See, but when I'm smiling, the cricket's trying to tell me I got to go out something serious. And if I could do it, it's at a moment when that cricket does play.
All right. Well, you just let the moment happen naturally. That sounds so good.
I love it.
He did that in my ear on the Potomac, everybody, and I'm like, "What in the?" And then he did the sound.
I did not do that in your
bug sound.
Yeah, that's unless I'm with you guys.
I forgot about that.
You won't be able to get that one, but you can hear.
Yeah, I go like this because I think there's a bug in my ear. It's just Cornell behind me doing something with his fingers.
Yeah, I got a few little silly.
He's got a lot of little tricks, tricks. But anyway, I don't have to finish that story. I ended up in 7th after day 2, so I got more stories. But those I did very.
We all have stories. That's another nice, great topic for a show. Is just fishing stories, depending on whether it's a co-angler fishing story, horror, great.
Yeah, right on.
Story, horror, great. It could be a Travis kind of thing. There's so many great topics we can all talk about because all we like to do is talk about fishing when we're.
And you know where I think I read about the drop shotting technique? It might have been in a Real Northern Bass Supply flyer. Who remembers the Real Northern Bass Supply tackle shop?
Sounds familiar.
New Hampshire. It was up in New Hampshire.
Old catalog, I think it was.
Dude, it was like a paper flyer.
Yeah,
they would come to my house, and they had stuff that I couldn't get at my local tackle shops. And there was a lot of finesse guys up there. I can't remember the main guy that promoted Real Northern Bass Supplies, but I like. Does anybody remember them? Real Northern Bass Supply?
No.
And that's where I think I learned about it. Sandy Oja, Grad 84. Dang, Jamie Juice Newton does. Hello.
I gotta see these comments.
Yeah, cheddar time. They're just.
Is that Smart Pop you got there, Travis?
It is, man.
You're awful smart to get that.
I saw some people talking about the Stingray grub on the Potomac.
Always, yep. That's a Chaconis suggestion all day long.
Yeah,
it's basically a Ned rig of yesteryear.
Man, and the somebody mentioned the Power Pulse worm. Oh my God, legendary!
It's a lot like what the missile baits bait that he's got out that looks a lot like the Stingray grub.
Yeah, true.
Yep,
true.
I should throw this Stingray tomorrow.
Good idea.
Yeah.
You put some take a needle and put some stuff through it, like the cube.
Why did we stop doing that?
Why do we stop throwing a lot of stuff that still works?
Yeah, the boys on Tactical Bassin just did a video on just the classic curly-tailed grub and how it's just a smallie killer, and it's just all the swim baits and paddle tail swim baits have taken over. And
I threw it with Travis up. I've got a Rain G rib.
Yep.
G-tail grub, and I got it in like a color called sand. It was on closeout, and it's a good goby, or I don't know what. I guess it's imitating a goby. And then I threw it on the Ned football head, which I absolutely am in love with,
Right.
and absolutely cracked their ass on it. They couldn't leave it alone. That's what I threw before when Travis and I found that group of fish. He was throwing a net, obviously, and I was throwing the grub, man, and they love it.
Put a bluegill swim jig in your hand and put a Fat Albert and chartreuse behind it in Potomac and watch what happens.
Fat Albert, bro.
Or a twin tail, even.
Terry Baxay. Thank you, Sean. Yes. And Matt Hammer caught a ton of fish on Kalin's. Unbelievable, man.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, man, Brian.
Yamamoto's got a really soft one that works well. And
I just bought a bunch of Fat Alberts.
there they are. Yeah.
It's a great
What color is that? Green pumpkin? Purple? Yep.
Yeah.
Great choice. Great. Awesome.
I might have some of those grubs somewhere down here. I don't even know. Anyway, man, I'd love to do just go down memory lane. That could be a whole show, like top lures of the 70s, 80s, and I mean, that would be cool, man. Your favorite old time classics that you stopped throwing, and why did you stop throwing them?
I'm on YouTube a lot, and it's not. Why not shout them out? Have you seen Retro Bassin?
Yeah, I've sent him a lure box. He sent me one, and we've agreed to do together. He's a Maryland guy.
Yeah, he was. I think he moved, but he's very much local to this area.
We're supposed to do a live show together, so
you ought to, man, because he's putting he's taking it down. Remember, you want to talk about time warp?
That's why he, he's a fan. I'm a fan, right? Because he likes old school stuff, and there's a lot of old school stuff in the tackle.
What would be your top 3 baits as a co-angler you would not want to not ever go on a boater's boat without?
Yeah, it's gonna be like most. It's gonna be like most, and say the drop shot has to be absolute, no question, number 1. Ned rig's a very close second at times. The 2 baits that got me my weight on High Rock, which was 4 fish, was drop shot and Ned. I mean, both of them were in harmony with one another when it comes to the weight. It was 2 and 2, possibly, maybe I can't remember 100%, but the one I lost was on a neg. That would have been my keeper fish, so that could have been dead even down the range. But moving baits, you got to have moving baits. You got to cover water. That's the hard part, because you can't really answer that question, because it's either there's a top water bite, you got to cover water, and you got to throw to them when you see them, or know that you'll bring them up. You got to have your chatter baits and spinner baits at times. Those have always played in. No question, jerk baits, but I'm a big fan of the fluke. I cover a lot of water, and I definitely do well with the fluke, whether it be full blown Texas rig, nose hooked, or even a line through routine for schooling fish with a little belly.
What's your favorite color fluke and size?
Overall, it's a super fluke. It's almost exclusively the super fluke in most cases, and it's pearl white. Pearl white works it out, and a watermelon's going to be close second. You can always mix in the watermelon red. Those 3 colors are pretty much all you need.
How do you rig it normally, or what?
Well, it depends. If you're really getting it around cover and you're really getting into the grass, when I talk about cover, Texas rig will be around thick grass and over mats or pads or anything. You can work it like a frog. I mean, you can keep that thing as weedless as you want if you go Texas rig, but you are limiting your hookup ratio. I mean, your hookup ratio is going down. There's no question.
Let's talk about your hook that you use for your fluke.
Yeah, it's always just going to be generally a 4-aught.
4-aught brand.
4-aught with a Mustad grip pin. Because let me tell you, that grip pin is not just keeping your bait from sliding down and having you change your bait every so many casts. I mean, it's not even the bite that you're getting. It's just pulling it through cover. You're ripping that bait down and you're tearing it. A standard EWG without any kind of grip pin is a nightmare. And once those grip pins came out, not only is it doing way better on holding the bait, but that is a piece of lead that's actually at the top of that bait, giving it a tiny bit. It's an epoxy covered piece of molded lead on it. You have one?
That used to be my favorite. And I think might have got them. It was a Gamakatsu, and it was called a Max.
Oh, okay.
It has a piece of lead wire.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, man. And like this, once you stuck it in, it wasn't coming out. I mean, it would hold it like way better than a grip pin, but they just don't make them anymore. It's a hand. I guess you could tie your own, but anyway. And they had an EWG style too, but I'm not a EWG. But for a J-bend hook, that was money.
I got you. Yeah. So the grip pin is pretty much what I'm throwing on my fluke, and in most cases, I got to be honest with you, in the back of the boat, so I can get better casting distance, I'm throwing my fluke on a spinning rod.
Okay, what's the setup?
Setup's a 7-foot medium. It's going to be, honestly, right nowadays with the X Plasma being such a thin diameter, and it goes forever. 12-pound braid.
Yep.
To an 8 to 12 pound fluorocarbon leader, depending on the cover. I'll
Okay.
go up to 15 if it's really, really getting around something that's like zebra mussel, something up in the chick or something like that.
Yeah.
Rare, ultra rare, because you lose a lot of action. My point behind the back of the boat, if I'm throwing a fluke, I want my fluke to look like something real. So that's how it's going to go for cover, but it's going to be a nose hook fluke. I'm around.
You'll Texas rig that a lot with a weight.
No. Texas. What I was thinking about a weight is that grip pin has a little tiny bit of weight to that little molded on grip pin is what it is. It's pocket. It just gives you a little bit more sink. And again, because I'm using a spinning outfit, it is a light wire. It's a 2 times light wire grip pin. It's not the standard gauge grip pin, what you're going to be using for flipping, and it's a heavier gauge hook. Now, if I am in any way, shape, or form choosing to go with a fluke, and I'm really looking to crack them, and I'm really up in some heavy cover, I'll throw, the medium heavy, 7.2.
Like in grass or something like that.
I'm going to crack them with a heavy, and it's going to be a heavier gauge hook.
Sure.
Still rare though. I mean, that's only if I'm on the front of the boat and I'm really after them, but in the back of the boat, it's a spinning rod for casting distance. And
what about moving baits, Cornell?
What's that?
Moving baits.
Moving baits when it comes to spinning.
Like where you're winding, just generally, like what are you going to have as a general rule? You don't know where you're going. You're not asking your boater where you're going. So what do you bring?
If I'm going to have a selection of spinner baits, I'm going to have a selection of chatter baits, and depending on the water clarity and the wind and everything else, if I got a bright sunshiny day and reasonably clear water, the spinner bait's coming out. If I got a touch of stain and some wind, and it's around some hard cover and even grass, it's going to be a chatter bait. It's going to be back and forth between the two, just depending.
Sure.
And that's an easy thing. Of course, crankbaits. We can get into the rabbit hole with that conversation, especially with you, Eric. With crankbaits all day long, I've always got an opportunity to throw, from the 6XD down to a tiny little Bandit 100 square bill. I've got usually what I need for something like that, and it's rare. Crankbaits do play in. I've had plenty of opportunities where crankbaits have brought in some fish. Depending on the time of year, but I've got it all. I mean, it's vast when it comes to like what you see behind you. What you guys see behind me is just a bare bones back of my kitchen. Dare I take you into my garage and show you the big wall hangers, deer, and all the outdoorsy kayaks and all kinds of crap.
We'd like to.
That's the place I should have been, because that would have been more entertaining for you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
crap in my garage, but
So let's go up top, man.
Top water. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I mean, everything from the tiniest little, one of my favorite things is the little quarter ounce little frog. I mean, on a spinning rod. I don't know if we've ever had this conversation, but in the back of the guys launching giant frogs way back in the pads, and they're covering all the water, and anything and everything that can possibly bite will probably bite theirs. Down Finesse fishing a frog, 12-pound test braid on a 7-foot medium to medium heavy. Go watch my video, guys. Go watch one of my practice videos on the Potomac right there in Chickamauga, and everyone will understand that if it's not the heaviest and the beastiest of cover, and it's soft grass and hydromat, and it's not pads and you're not near wood, you would not believe what kind of action you can get out of a small frog, and then the hookup ratio and casting distance. Oh my gosh. Just one of my favorite little finesse power fishing routines is a little baby frog. Fun stuff.
You downsize your poppers as well?
Yeah. Some of the win on Kerr on day 2, whereas I had that awesome boater that worked with me on the shoals. We did go up shallow, get a couple bites, but day 1 I was in second place. Day 2 I fished with Martin Villa, and that was the 2-day. That was 2 fish. 2 fish is all I caught the day. One was on a fluke over the rock vein, and the second and last fish 20 minutes before the end of the day was a small popper. Just
What's
a small
your favorite
popper fishing behind the boat because I did nothing to work with. He was fishing real tight to cover and
Yep.
I cover water. And I've had I had 2 back-to-back second place finishes on the Potomac a couple years ago. And, some of my key fish were on a small popper.
What's your favorite small popper?
I think it's not the Rico,
Uh-uh.
but it might as well be considering the history, right? It's a Booyah Boss Pop.
Yeah.
Booyah Boss Pop is a beast little popper, but I can't say that other poppers wouldn't have caught the same fish.
Sure.
It's a confidence bait.
It's a confidence bait, man. I mean,
great, easy access. You don't even need to change the hooks out. The hooks are great. And
yeah, they do.
It's everything that Zell Pop was back in the day. If everyone knows the Zell Pop, Booyah bought the rights and started making the Boss Pop. And there's a small
those Excalibur hooks are sharp, man. The ones that came on their crankbaits, I wouldn't change them.
Yeah.
I'd fish them right out of the pack, man. They're some of the best hooks. They come stock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's all good. So
no doubt. Cornell, good stuff, man.
I'm glad you're asking all those questions. So I didn't know how I was going to contribute, but hopefully I did.
Holy shit, the juice, this could have been a Patreon stream.
Yeah.
What are you going to fish? I know there's like a 2-day BFL up here on the St. Lawrence River. You have any interest in that, or?
Oh, I absolutely would have been, but here's the deal. Remember early on, I told you guys I've jumped in with both feet and I'm fishing both divisions down here locally. I'm fishing the Shenandoah and the Piedmont. So this coming month, August was the only month where something wasn't happening. So that's why I was lucky enough to see you, Travis. I just got wild and crazy, decided to drive 8 hours and treat myself to one of the best fishing experiences of my life, and then end up in 18th place up there at this Toyota Series, which is absolutely freaking awesome. That was a big deal for me to get up there and just fish for 3 days, not 2. So down here, I'm fishing. The first tournament is the Piedmont division. That's going to be on Kerr. That's another trip to Kerr, another super tournament on Kerr. So we'll see how that goes.
2-day, right?
2-day. Shenandoah is going to be Potomac.
Oh,
the next weekend. So I got Super Kerr. Next weekend, Super Potomac.
We got to go out. How can we get out? How can we?
It gets better. It gets better. I'm confirmed. What? It's done. I've linked. I'm fishing Toyota Series Potomac the weekend after that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
You're going crazy.
I'm glad you just flexed on me like that. It made me feel a little insecure. I did 2 push-ups this week. I'm going to work on 3 next week.
Look how white my arm is.
That's crazy, man. Look at you. That's impressive.
I got the farmer tan. Look, I can't really tell on camera, but that's
farmer's tan. You got the farmer's arms too. Look at you. So yes, come September, I've got a lot of fishing coming.
Dude, well, how are you going to? I mean, you don't really care to get out because you don't know where you're going, so you know what to do on the Potomac.
I know what to do. I know what to bring.
You know what to do.
I just need to get on the boat, and I just need to put my rod down next to me.
I'm praying for 2 things. One, a guy that goes, I don't have a clue, never been here, and he's struggling, or a guy that is on some fish and just puts you around him because I know you.
Would you help? Have you ever helped the boater out like that?
Rarely.
The boater said, I'm struggling. Like Jim Bitter.
Here's
in my 11th place finish on the Potomac, Jim Bitter goes, this place, and he won on the river. He won there. He's having a shitty tournament. He goes, I don't care. Where do you want to go? And I go, take me to Chickamuxon. And we went and we fucking started.
I mean, I can say something like that. I can share that I fish. I don't have a boat. I don't practice. And if I practice them with people that I would not give up, I would not share with my boater where I went to practice with guys that I'm tight with. You know what I'm saying? So there's a rare day that I've ever been able to offer much, especially on places like Kerr or Smith Mountain. Those aren't my bodies of water. I've rarely even gone there when I did have a boat. So I'm just along for the ride. And all I can share in some cases is that I have a little history here, a little history there, but I'm not going to suggest it because I would dare make a strong suggestion and convince a boater to go somewhere for it to just be.
That was perfect.
You know what I'm saying?
That was perfect.
I'm hearing nothing but crickets here, man. You said the fish were here. What are we doing? I just wouldn't want to embarrass myself that way. So
did I show you my new boat?
Did you get it?
It's coming Thursday.
You should. I know exactly what you're getting. The question is, do you have it? And you don't have it, so you can't really show it to me. But I've seen what you're getting. Yeah,
it's coming Thursday, man. It's coming Thursday, man. I need to figure out how to put a few accessories on that thing.
Yeah, and you
Like,
need to figure out
it's a trolling motor.
you're trying to get that trolling motor thing working for you, so you can get around and scoot around.
Yeah, I might take it to Dave Haas up in New Jersey because BTC and him are like small boat experts.
Yeah,
maybe I'll just have them put a few things on it. You know,
check it out for you. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see it. I think that's going to be a really neat little rig.
Well, we got to get up to Deep Creek, man, and throw some big baits around, man, in the fall.
I'd love to. There's nothing better than that lake when the crowds are gone. I mean,
if I can get Timmy Reams, who was leading the NPFL, I fished with him, and I showed them what a blade bait could do in the winter, which was pretty cool in 43-degree water. It was like I caught all the fish except for one. I think he caught a 10-incher. Not Timmy. He blanked that day, and that's their home lake. And Justin, who's they're both great sticks up there. They just were shocked. They're like, we never thought to throw a blade bait. And I'm like, what? And I threw the Fish Lab one that had the bulbous belly and a gold silver. It was like a two-tone, so it looked like a shiner. And that is one of the primary forges up there. And literally, first dock we came to, pitched it, saw 4.5 come out and just eat it.
I don't think I've ever seen that bait. It sounds interesting. I love a blade bait. Yeah,
dude, this is a really cool blade bait.
A lot of videos on my YouTube channel showing off the blade bait. Not cold of winter. Yeah,
I bought it with Travis, and I bought it at one of those stores up in New York. Travis, I liked it.
Cool.
Fat Nancy's.
No, it was the other one. What's the Thousand Island one?
Thousand Island Bait and Tackle.
That's the one. Yeah, I bought a Gamakatsu tackle box of blue, and then I looked at those Fish Labs, and I'm going, that looks like a cool blade bait, just like the finish because it just reminded me of a shiner. So beautiful finish, really super high chrome, high shine, and I liked it the way it falls and has great hooks. Don't have to change them out. So anyway,
I didn't realize I was passing Fat Nancy's on the way up to the St. Lawrence and missed the exit, and it would have been too much to turn around because between exits it's a lot. So I missed it. I had been there way back when I did some salmon fishing up on the Salmon River. Yeah, I did that way back when, and I wanted to stop by because I heard that would be a pretty good spot to go to kind of see a bait or two for where I was going. But
it's a fun place for sure. Yeah. They got a good selection. When you say Trav, pretty decent.
I always thought it was more of a fly shop from what I remember. You know, go get your
a lot of salmon plugs, like walls of salmon shit, like walls of it.
I haven't been able to look through these comments to see if there's anything I missed.
I'm keeping an eye on you.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
So cool. Yeah. So cool to see the size crowd out here. It always is great. I gotta share. I'm every Monday that I can join. I'm always watching, guys. I'm always on here. I'm always seeing the comments and watching the antics between Eric and Travis. What a dynamic! You guys are a dynamic duo. It is absolutely. It makes my Monday night, dude. Seriously, nothing better on a Monday night to hang with you guys. So really, really appreciate you. Let me join you guys.
Travis, those aren't keto, are they?
We have all you smallmouth crush fans join on here. That's a good crowd for a live stream. Very cool.
Ain't no doubt, man. Ain't no doubt, man. We pulled some good numbers. This has been a great show, man. Thank you. You really, I really.
Back and watch the show. I don't.
What's that?
I just sit back and watch the show and eat my popcorn or whatever I'm doing.
I think you'll agree that Eric, no doubt, he has the gift of gab. He's the existential extrovert, as I think I am too. I mean, in a live stream, I'm a little bit more subdued. I'm a little more held back. But yeah, I mean, I think between Eric and I think Travis, you are an outgoing, no question extrovert in my opinion too. But this Eric dude, man, he's epic for a reason, right?
I love asking questions, man. I mean, I'm very curious about your experience. I mean,
your high energy and your questions are awesome. And yeah, I'd mentioned that if you did have me on here, I'd hope that you'd hit me up because I don't know what I can offer unless you ask the questions for me to answer. So I appreciate you jumping in.
Man, I really think you gave anglers today, whether they're in the front of the boat or the back of the boat, certainly as a co-angler, you know, I'm hearing stuff. I watched you fish with Travis. I picked up tips from you that day. You are a solid fisherman. You know what to do, when to do it. You have put your time in. You've learned a lot over a decade because the body of people that you fish with by pairing up with different boaters, you know, 1 to 2 days in a row, and then pre-practice if you've got this crew that you travel with and that you link up with. It's just extraordinary, and you're smart to watch and learn and see, and making something out of nothing. Limited angles, limited casting range. I mean,
all right. I got a door. I gotta get into my bedroom, and trying not to bang my head on the door frame is going to be tough, but thank you. I appreciate all that,
man.
So easy. I appreciate you very much. But yeah, it's just a lot of time on the water, right?
No, and I appreciate you sharing it with people, because a lot of people wouldn't be, honestly, I mean, you know, everybody likes to guard their little tricks and techniques, right? But I mean, I think on this show, we at least try to, you know, Travis does save some of his juice for the Patreons, for the people that are helping him and supporting the show. Absolutely. And, you know, I've been an open book from day one, so I probably showed too much on the show. I got a lot of heat for it sometimes, but, you know, I mean, I'm not out there trying to make a living fishing, and I'm not giving up anybody's secrets because there's stuff that,
yeah, I mean, we've got that in common for sure. Here's what I'll share, and what I think everyone that knows my channel will agree on. And then if there's anyone out there that doesn't know my channel that chooses to go check it out, I could promise you I give everything.
Yeah,
I give it all up, to the point where down to the knot, the hook, the line, the sinker, it's all there. Everything that I do out on these tournaments, I'm doing on my YouTube channel, you know, whether it be in a practice video and or if it's something out of my local lake or anywhere I'm choosing to fish. I don't hold back anything. I mean,
hey, speaking of which, somebody just asked a really important question. Your top water popper, the little one, oh God, the pop, whatever it was.
Oh yeah, that's a great question.
What's your leader setup?
You guys will get a kick out of this.
Yep.
For the most success I've had throwing that little popper.
Yep.
It's a short bait.
Yep.
And you can walk it, but it's not walking too far.
Yep.
Big deal with walking baits. Straight braid is getting your braid wound up into your treble hooks.
For sure.
It's just too limp, and it just catches itself, and your casts are ruined. Worst case scenario, you're throwing into schooling fish and you have something like that. That's where a short, don't sweat it, fluorocarbon or mono. You know, a short leader, you're not worried about the line being drawn down. It could be anything, but a little short mono or fluorocarbon leader, you know, is what you really need for the walking baits to keep your line from getting tight.
Test.
Well, on the popper answer, or
popper.
That's where I'm going. It's going to be a 7-foot medium action.
Yep.
Stratic or whatever 2500 series reel you want. 30,000 is fine.
Yep.
12-pound braid.
Yep.
Straight to the popper.
Nice.
Instant. I mean, if it breathes on it, it's getting hooked.
Yeah.
Set your drag right. Go easy. Go set your drag. Let it get into that bait. But I'm telling you right now.
Are you fishing that same setup on the Potomac in your regional with the little popper?
Mostly. The regional, if there is a regional coming, if I make the regional, I'm trying to make 2 regionals. I'm already in one.
Are you going 12-pound straight braid?
12-pound straight braid. I've mixed it up. I've thrown a little bit of, you know,
leader on it. 14,
you know, maybe if I'm around, but absolutely, you'll watch my videos all day long. You'll see me throw a booyah bob pot. My favorite video is the one I showed you the link.
Yeah, I watched it.
It's not, you have to retie.
Yeah.
It will eventually fray a little bit. You will have enough going on that 12-pound braid can pop. And it did on a fish.
Have you ever found the popper because it threw it back at you?
Yes. Everyone needs to see that video. Everyone needs to see that video.
You can put the link up.
The fish broke me off and took my Booyah Boss Pop bream patterned popper. And I'm literally, I just go quiet. And then I looked, and the fish jumps, and it spits the bait back at me and gives me my.
Come on.
It's on video, dude.
Didn't you catch it or something?
No, that's another video. You wouldn't want me to give up what I caught, but that's the 1 in a million catch video.
That's the 1 in a million catch on YouTube. 1 in a million catch.
1 in a million catch is one of my videos, and then you'd have to dig a little bit to find that popper video, but it's on a little lake up in the mountains where legit full blown. I had probably a little smallmouth pop and break off my favorite little popper, and I just stood there in dismay to only have it jump, spit it back at me, and just it was like the heavens opened. I was like, whoa! The lure is coming back to me. It's come back to life. It's like, yeah, that's like resurrection of the Booyah Boss Pop. It was pretty awesome. Yeah. So I got a lot of I've got enough videos and have enough time on the water that there's some pretty crazy things. Another topic for another day. But there's been some videos that I've put up that have just been, they're kind of hidden because I have a lot of subscribers, but I don't put enough content up. And when a video goes up, not a lot of people see it. The algorithms aren't there, and therefore the masses don't get to see some of the craziness that I've experienced on the water and what would be really fun for a lot of people to see. But it's one of those things you just have to want for it. And like you said, Travis, man, if I did a couple vlogs and talked about the journey, which sometimes is the best part of a fishing trip. It's not just the fishing; it's getting there and the anticipation and the love of it. But then,
have you ever thrown a bobber stop or two on the front of your braid, straight braid, even with heavier?
I think we talked about that. I haven't. Yeah, I've not tried that routine. I'm sure that could be a great option to keep you from having to go leader and keep you from having to have the line.
It just keeps that little short section straight, and it doesn't hang up nearly as much.
Just enough stiffness there to keep it from
just back enough. And it's just, if you get goofy, they're not looking at that.
Yeah, when it comes to a walking bait, something that I am throwing on a bait caster, it is going to be anywhere from 30 to 50 pound braid. It is going to be a short section of 14 to 20 pound leader, on the size of the bait. I
like big game.
Yeah, big game all day long would be.
I wish they made 17 pounds.
It's stiff enough, but it's it, man. That's the
dude. It's the tits, man.
Get it anywhere you want. If you don't have any left, you can pick it up at Walmart. Take care of it.
Cheap, effective, doesn't fail you.
Yep, absolutely. So
this is great, man.
More conversations we could have. We can always revisit the conversation. We could have me maybe do the whole layout in front of me and just lift up my tackle trays, show off my terminal tackle arsenal, and show how I pack it. Maybe with these
think that's a great show.
With these next tournaments coming up, if it's after the tournament, I'd be happy to share how I packed my bag.
I'm going to share something that, because you're a fluke fan, you've never seen.
Say again. Well, we got something to share.
I'm going to share something you've never seen.
Let's see.
I'm not happy with the finish on this.
Yeah, Jamie Juice Newton, you are right. It will be a day having a drag and hit my boss pop with that braid, but at the same time, I can tell you right now, I've caught him.
Cornell,
his teeth dig in.
Don't throw away your old fluke. Save every tail.
Oh,
I want you to cut them off and put your fluke tail on this. This
is a hard bait.
This is a hard,
like a super fluke with 2 places to hang your hooks.
Trebles for open water.
Lord have mercy. You got
Cornell. I think you need to take it to Kerr, and I think you need to try it.
You need to give me your address and let me visit you and let me
take a tour of that lab. Only one person has been down here from the fishing community, and that's Travis. And he almost got kicked out.
Really?
Started to disrespect me a little bit in my tackle and tried to make it like this sensational video.
Oh.
I said, stop.
I think I did a good job.
Once I got you straight, you did. We had words.
You are a lucky man.
It's the first time I've ever really had words with him. That was early in our relationship.
Just from this angle, it looks like an amazing place. I mean,
thank you. Travis went like this after I set him straight. He goes, "Oh," like that was his reaction. He went, "Oh," like he got serious in a heartbeat.
The bench looks a lot like what's in my garage, but the wall behind it is a bunch of deer heads in mine. I don't have it stacked like that. It's just a bare wall with a couple of big old deer heads.
Right.
Refrigerator to the right and all that. But yeah, the bench.
It's just mad science down here, man. I like to create stuff, so it's all sorts of crazy ideas and things I dream up, like the Clacky Wacky. Have you ever heard of the Clacky Wacky? No, because it's not available yet. But I know you like to throw wacky, clacky, wacky with a little bit of skirt material. Oh,
JP Harrell, he said he'd like to see how I pack my bag for sure. So yeah, I think a lot of people will get a kick out of how tightly packed, concise, and how sweet my bag is. I
think we'll compare. We're going to compare my co-angler bag.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Your co-angler bag. I think I might have gone a little fancy on you, but I want your opinion. I'd like you to critique it because you truly fish in way more different situations than I do. I know what I'm probably going to be doing because I fish with the same guy for 90% of my tournament experience.
We talked about what that really is. Remember we talked about?
Yeah.
You are playing cleanup. Is that what we said?
That's right.
I am picking up scraps.
Yeah. No, you don't understand. I'm trying to pick up scraps behind Scooter too. The dude is a vacuum cleaner, man.
Yeah, I'm sure. At the same time, but you're also trying to contribute to what he is doing because it's part of your team.
Exactly.
I'm on my own back there, just hoping to get what I get and put myself in a position to get them. And it's such an awesome puzzle.
It is, man. I love it. I think bass fishing overall is a puzzle, and I enjoy the back of the boat.
I do too.
I feel like I got a lot of room. I don't like standing on the front deck. I have better angles, more weight, more casting freedom.
Yeah.
You know, just I'm not spun out that I'm not looking at the electronics. You know, reading the water. Me and Scooter are fishing shallow a lot, but deep too, by the way. And yeah, man, I bring my finesse game, which is cool, and that's produced some key catches in our wins. And you know, I fish power side by side with him because Travis is right. Some days you need to be thrown. You don't have that luxury per se. Right. You know, the guy might turn around and look at you and, you know, like, what are you doing in front of the boat?
Well, I'm happy that I have a kayak. I'm happy that I have a little Pelican bass ready to get my boy on and do some of that kind of thing. And I have my moment in the front. I have my moment of control. I have times where I am fulfilled to know that I'm making it happen when I'm out fishing and
man,
in my own controlled scene. But the back of the boat just makes it that much more interesting. It's not much more fun. It's just different. And it is mixing it up both ways is just,
it's a different experience.
It's an absolute blessing to be able to do both. So yeah, I love co-angling. It's awesome.
I do too.
I can tell you right now, guys, I probably at my age and where I'm at now, I probably will never be a boater. I will probably never own a boat with horsepower. I'll probably only have things with thrust, meaning my electric motor and my little kayaks. And that's probably the way it's going to be, considering the age of my kids and where things will go. If that ever happens, I'll probably have to win a boat and just consider keeping it. But that might be the only time I ever own a powered boat again.
Wow. I don't think I'll ever own a powered boat except for this little Veer with the 7.5 horsepower, burn up the water Mercury.
It's good. Oh, is it going to have a little gas motor on it?
No, it's an electric 7.5.
Well, yeah, we're going to have thrust, not horsepower. Like I said,
thrust, right. No, they put horsepower on it.
Do they really?
Yeah, I swear.
My Pelican Bass Raider is rated to 3.5 horsepower. I think I got a 2.5 Suzuki for the back of it when I. I think about it, guys. I do have a little power.
Cage rattler. I've never been kayak fishing, and I probably will never go. I've got one bad knee, and the other one hurts like hell all the time.
Hey, have you seen my videos lately? For the past year and a half, too.
I got
the old town. I got the old town canoe and kayak autopilot 120 with the integrated Minn Kota iPilot.
I'm totally wanting to get an iPilot because
I'm not pedaling anywhere. I'm paddling maybe if I need to, but I got a lithium battery in there, 100 amp, and I'm 4 miles an hour anywhere I want to go, so long as I'm not dead.
So do you take your battery out to charge it?
Yeah, I take it out to charge it. I have a backup 60 amp. I'm very fortunate to have been connected to Amped Outdoors. They have some great lithium batteries.
I love Amped Outdoors.
Yeah, he's got some great products. So I got 100 and I've got a 60 just in case. I used the 60 yesterday. I was actually out on my local lake. Hadn't charged the 100 by mistake, forgot about it. Then I got a couple small ones for the electronics. I got myself a bird on the boat, and it's all hooked up. It's just a great rig, and I can sit in 30-mile-an-hour winds, hit just like every other buddy. I'll just sit there in a kayak.
That's awesome.
Cast into the point, and it's absolutely.
I bought a kayak as well.
You bought a kayak? You bought a kayak?
I bought one. It hasn't arrived yet. I'm trying to share the name of it.
Is that going to be the third floating something you have? Did you just get a walleye boat too?
Yeah. So this is a Frontier.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
You ever hear of those?
Yeah, of course. I don't know much about them, but can't say a good or bad thing about them. But you got a kayak. That's a big deal. Where are you going to go with that?
Just out. Wherever.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's awesome. So you got a boat, a walleye. You got a walleye rig, didn't you? Is that what I saw?
I went trolling. Right. I went in yesterday. We caught
Awesome.
I'll share a picture with you guys. We
Show
crossed
us the boat, Travis.
Yeah, the boat looks amazing.
Can you take whatever you're streaming on to the? Is it your laptop you're streaming on?
No, it's in the other garage.
It's only 50 feet. And you've had 4 ice pops, bro. You have so much sugar.
Yeah,
I think I had 6 ice pops. We caught them big walleyes yesterday.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. Wow, he's such a handsome kid.
What are those Michael Jackson gloves he's wearing?
Smart kid.
I gave him some gloves because it's a walleye. He's 5 years old.
There's
a 10-pounder. He's got a
big walleye.
I didn't know what was going on with his hands. I was worried.
How many inches is a 10-pound walleye? Is that a 32-inch walleye? Huh?
30?
30? How many inches is a 10-pound walleye?
No, 28, 29, 30, 31.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And I guess it was also just depending. I mean, that was a fat looking fish.
Yeah.
I love me some walleye. One of the last blackened fish sandwich videos I did was my boy up on Jennings Randolph. Eric and I hooked up a shore lunch with the walleye. And my boy, they're special fish, man. They are delicious.
Dang.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Great stream, bro, man. Thanks for coming on, man.
It's getting late. I've got 2 kids that have already gone to bed, and I kissed them early. So
yeah, me too, man. I've got I had contractors in the house all day, so
yeah, you had a lot going on.
To get up and do some dusting.
Let me share one point is that I am extremely appreciative. You guys let me jump on board as long as it's been. You guys are awesome. Appreciate the crowd that's here. You guys are all awesome.
A lot of great ideas flowing on the comment section, man. People sharing with each other. It's good stuff.
Maybe more to come if I'm so fortunate. So
yeah, Travis, you should redo that thumbnail and say great co-angler tips and tricks and tag this video because it's worth watching, man. Yeah, like and share, everybody. Like and share.
Yeah,
definitely.
Thank you, Cornell.
All right. Well, hey, yeah, thanks for coming along. I'm sorry I've been out of it tonight. I've been guiding all day, really fucking tired. I'm trying to stay healthy.
Hey, I watched last week's and saw what you were feeling and felt what you were feeling because I wasn't dealing with as much as you did. But yeah, that was a long weekend for all of us. That was a long. Yeah. That was a lot going on. So. Same thing this week for you. You're always going at it, and yeah, your energy levels still blows my mind. I can't believe you do what you do because you're a hard worker, Travis. You really are, no doubt.
Thank you.
You put it out.
Well, recently.
What are you talking about?
I'm messing with you, Travis.
All right. We should keep in touch more, Eric. Too. You and I. All I get is text messages. Are you okay?
All right, here you go. Here's the text stream recently. I'm just going to show you how much of a conversationalist Travis is when he's not on the show. Not that he's been super conversationalist tonight, but okay. The last 2 responses, I wrote them Friday at 3:25 p.m. If you're not too busy spying on the Johnstons, give me a call, bud. No response. Okay, so I try him again. Cornell will be coming on the show a little later in the show, yo. Okay, he responds. Okay, I go, and not like, oh, that's super exciting. Like I'm so stoked he's coming on. 0. Okay, I mean, there's the fucking text stream. Those are his 2 responses over there.
Travis,
okay,
my favorite.
Wait. I go. Okay, bud. I go. Okay, bud. You okay, bud? He goes. Okay. That's it. That's what I get from this guy.
Travis is my favorite. I hit you. I sent you a text last week, Travis. My favorite responses from your exhaustedness last week was a question from Eric, and it was a single word. Yeah. Just like that. Exhale. Yeah. And then another question. I don't know. I heard yeah, and I don't know. How many times last week, man? You were killing me. You were definitely in tired form last week, and I'm glad to have you.
Here's another text stream. Notice Travis's voluminous responses on the other side. They're just 2 words. So I go, Chodley, fishing. I said, where are you stalking around New York? Yes. A callback would be nice sometimes. No reply. How was the derbies this weekend? You bring home the bacon? No reply. Brohamas, I'm trying. He goes, 0 yesterday, 5th today. Love you. I'm alive.
Oh my God. man.
That's the longest reply I've gotten in months.
You're lucky, man. You're lucky, man.
Just to tell you, it's like getting blood out of a rock sometimes to get him talking. But anyway, I do my best, everybody.
You do a great job. You do a great job bringing it out of all of us. So
I try, man. I try. I'm trying. No, great stream, man. Great stream. Travis, thank you for letting me ask Cornell the questions because we are co-anglers and we bonded. I know it was a co-angler takeover show, but I think you dropped some incredible gems, Cornelius. Thank you.
I'm glad to offer what I offered. Hopefully that was something someone could take with them, but I just need you all to do me a really, really big favor.
Tell me.
All of you, Travis.
Yeah.
Eric,
I'm in.
And fellow fishing friends, have a great night.
Hey, there you go, man. And look, we got a guy from Australia, Cod Fishing 180. He is in Australia and he has a smallmouth crush t-shirt. And I think I paid what, $150 in shipping or something like that, Travis?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Travis donated the shirt. I paid for the shipping.
That's strong right there.
Yeah, Travis didn't really shop for the best price, but I didn't care. There's a smallmouth crush shirt in Australia. That may be the most faraway shirt that we're ever going to find in the world that has smallmouth crush logo on it.
Jamie, see you at Henderson, buddy. I'm just looking at the last couple comments. Yep, I'll see you down at Kerr. That's awesome, man.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
And
Very good.
Get your report on all these tournaments coming up. We'll talk soon, everybody. Again, like I said, big thumbs up.
All right. And as always, until next time, we'll see you guys on the water. Have a good night. We'll be back Monday.
Peace out.
Peace. Hang out for a second, Cornell.
Okay, hanging out.
Do.